Hello, good afternoon or good evening, Rob, and welcome to Holker Street for this second round FA Cup replay. In a change to our schedule, unfortunately, our main game tonight, Burnley against Watford, was called off, as you well know. We don't need to talk any more about that. But in its place, we've got a really tasty second round replay. For the winners, it's a game against Barnsley. For the losers, it's back to Leagues 1 or 2, respectively. We've also got two Premier League games that we're across as well. I'll give you the lineup for this one tonight, but we also have not just Arsenal against West Ham at 8 o'clock, which kicks off, but a game that kicks off at 7:30. And making his long-awaited return to the TC Hub is Kieran, who should have an early update for us. Kieran, how has it gone at Brighton so far?
Eventful. So in training, Ryan Nuri managed to injure himself. We think it's a possible groin injury. So we've had Fernando Martial start in his position today. And we also have had an injury during the game. Lead man at the minute in race for Jimenez, who is currently suspended. Hang-Wei Chan has taken the front line, but he's now gone down injured with looks like a hamstring injury. So we're about to bring on the man himself, Adama Traore. That should be happening in a minute. It's been pretty end-to-end so far. Brighton have had a little bit more of the possession. They're currently on the attack at the minute, but we've had a couple of breakaways, but nothing so far.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. I should also stress it as it's Brighton against Wolves, in case you were wondering. Right, anyway, let me give you the two teams then before we kick off here at Barrow. It's been quite a quick turnaround for me. So it's Paul Farman in goal, quarterfinals, of course, with Lincoln back in 2017. They're playing three at the back with Jones, Platt and Grayson. Then it's Brown, Banks, White and Barrow in the midfield four. Then it's Stevens and Gotts are the two attacking midfielders, and Gordon, the striker, up front. For John McGrail, who's the caretaker manager, but who also was a former Burnley player, but also a teammate of Paul Cook, it's Walton in goal, Vincent Young, Astula, Burgess and Penny across the back. So it's a 4-4-2 essentially here to Ipswich tonight. Aluko, Carey, El Mizari, Fraser in the midfield, and then Jackson and Norwood up front. The referee tonight comes from South Yorkshire. Russ is part of the world, and we'll be hearing from Russ in a few minutes' time with team news from the game tonight between Arsenal and West Ham, which you'll hear updates with as well. That's James Bell from South Yorkshire. And of course, if this game finishes after 90 minutes, we will be switching to the climax at the Emirates Stadium. In fact, we'll be switching to there when we're half-time in this tie as well, because we'll bring you the last 15 minutes of the first half at the Emirates as well. So you're going to have a nice little mix of FA Cup and Premier League action tonight here on the TC Hub. So Ipswich in the more darker strip, and the players, of course, will take a knee in the view of ongoing racism and the fight against racism, which is not acceptable in any walk of life whatsoever. So away we go then. Ipswich in the dark strip, Barrow in that blue and white sleeve shirts, and away we go then. A place in the third round against Barnsley at Oakwell. It's the prize for whoever wins this one tonight. It's got to be settled tonight, whether it's extra time, 90 minutes extra time, or penalties. But we'll soon find out what might well happen tonight. But it looks as if we're going to have a real cracking game here, hopefully for a replay that we can describe for you now. First throw in to Barrow, deep inside the Ipswich territory. Ipswich lying 12th in League One at the moment. Not where their supporters want to be. Of course, unlike Barrow, they've got nice big history in the FA Cup. 1978 under Bobby Robson. They beat Arsenal by a goal to nil. Roger Osborne, the scorer that day. Barrow, of course, I've already covered this season. They were beaten 5-0 by Premier League Aston Villa in an earlier round of the Carabao, which seems a heck of a long time ago, that is for sure. So we'll as soon as we get a break in play, we'll get some team news. In fact, let's get some team news right now on Arsenal against West Ham. Here's Russ Vernon for the first time tonight. Russ.
Yes, thank you, JB. Good evening, JB. Good evening, Kieran. Good evening, listeners. Arsenal lineup with Ramsdale in goal, Tomiyasu White, Gabriel Intini at the back, Partey and Xhaka in front of the back four, Saka, Odegaard and Martinelli is behind the lone striker of Alexander Lacazette. Okonkwo, Odin, Milinhouse, Tavares, Lakonga, and Annie Pepe, Smith-Rowe and Nketiah is on the bench. As for West Ham, Fabianski in goal, Kufel, Dawson, Diop, Masuaku, Rice and Stoichek, Bowen, Lanzini, Fornals, Mikel Antonio is up front. On the bench, Ariola, Ashby, Elise, Noble, Krell, Vlasic, Ben Rama, Oxoflex and Yarmolenko. The big news which came out also just yesterday is that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was stripped of the captaincy. I can tell you the captain for tonight for Arsenal is the other shot leading the line is Alexander Lacazette, who is the man who has got the captaincy this evening for Arsenal. I wonder if he's got it full time going forward. But Lacazette is the captain tonight. Arsenal against West Ham, 8 o'clock kickoff at the Emirates.
Thank you, Russ. So, yeah, big news there that Aubameyang, for his misdemeanours, has now been stripped of the captaincy. We wonder how long he's going to be at Arsenal for the foreseeable future. We'll just have to wait and find out about that one. Anyway, 0-0 whilst we're away still. We've had 2 minutes and 40 of the first half. We haven't had anything to... There was nothing significant happen while we were away, while we were down in the Emirates with Russ Vernon. Anyway, here's number 2, Brown, getting it forward there. Number 13 is White. White turns and pirouettes away, gets it back again. Long ball down the right-hand side. Headed away once more. Ipswich, of course, a team that has fallen on hard times recently. Ball out of play. It will be a Barrow throw. Midway inside the Ipswich half. Fraser there, number 11 for Ipswich. Good young side. Of course, Aluko played for Hull in that 2014 Cup final for Hull when they were 2 up and looking like coasting away with it against Arsenal. But then obviously Arsenal came back with a late show. Aaron Ramsey getting the winner that particular afternoon and winning by 3-2 after extra time in what was one of the more dramatic cup finals we've seen in recent times. Here's number 22 in Zara now. Plays it forward to Carroll. Carroll goes back to his goalkeeper, which is Walton. And now Vincent Young gets it forward again. Ipswich now looking to improve on their league position. Of course, League One. 12th in League One. Not where the fans, as I say, want to be. And it's a long journey up here. Some 300-odd miles from Suffolk here up to the Cumbrian Hills. The Lake District, Barrow in fairness. Beautiful Cumbrian town right on the northwest coast, just above Morecambe, just above Blackpool, of course. Of course, Grange Elber Sands isn't too far away. If you know your Lake District, and of course Lake Windermere is about 20 or 30 miles from here as well. So if you like your Lake District, then this is the place for you, I think. As Ipswich come forward with number 3, Penny. Now the ball not forward there by Burgess. Burgess trying to get it forward. Ball out of play. It'll be a throw in there. And we're going to just quickly go to Kieran because there's been a chance in that game for Brighton, I believe, Kieran.
Oh, yeah, it was Brighton's best chance of the game so far. Brilliantly fed through by Bissouma, straight forward to March, who fires it just wide. But Jose Sarr was there to cover it anyway. Still goalless here, and 21 minutes gone.
Thank you very much indeed, Kieran. As Gordon has just shot wide for Barrow in the commentary game that we're giving you tonight. Gordon shooting wide. In fact, it was well wide of target and didn't trouble Walton in the Ipswich goal too much. He's in an all fluorescent pink goalkeeper's jersey tonight. And there we are. Of course, as usual, you can comment on tonight's action. Please keep your comments clean. We are a family show, of course. So so of course we're across all TCL platforms tonight, not just the TCL itself, but we're also on JB Sports, Storm FM, TCL2, and JDAC Football. And of course, we're on Twitter and Twitch. Of course, our streaming partner for the season. The streaming app partner for the season is Melon Streaming App. Check that out at www.melonapp.com. And of course, we'll have a player of the match to choose a bit later on as well, in association with Barry Swain's brilliant commentary services as well. So plenty to look out for. Premier League and FA Cup action for you tonight. And it's the FA Cup we're concentrating on now as the ball is threaded back. And as soon as We'll keep getting regular updates from Brighton and getting from the Amex and the Emirates tonight. But here we are at Ulker Street here in Barrow. Nice, tight, compact ground. Is probably about just over 1,500 inside, but makes for an intimate atmosphere. His Banks steps the ball forward. Of course, Barrow had a fantastic win at Banbury in the last round by 5-0. And then Ipswich, of course, made heavy weather in their first round game. It finished 0-0 in the original game at Portman Road. Well, let's hope we don't get any goalless draw. It'd be 2 on the bounce if it was then goalless. By the way, we don't want a 2 goalless draws in a row. Burnley West Ham was the first time in TCO history commentating for the TCO live that I've actually commentated on a live 0-0. Let's hope it's not 2 on the bounce tonight. This is actually my 50th appearance as either a presenter or commentator on the TCO. Let's be fair, it would have been nice to have had it at Turf Moor, and it would have been no more appropriate place. But with the way things were going at the Turf at that time, then we had to change our plans very quickly. So we've got Barrow against Ipswich in the FA Cup. Here's a chance now for Barrow, and in fact, number 35 Stevens took it off Gordon's foot as they were going through and got in a bit of each other's way as they got to the edge of the Ipswich half penalty area, and then it just bounced nicely for Walton, who was able to pick it up inside his 6-yard box. And Ipswich will feel a little bit of a let-off there. Of course, Paul Cook has been relieved of his duties at Portman Road recently. John McGrail has played for Ipswich before as a player and knows what it's all about to wear that red and blue and white strip of Ipswich. But Ipswich, a terrific side by design. That's a foul there by Aluko on number 28, Banks, who's the club captain. So a free kick to Barrow, just 10 yards inside the Ipswich half. 8 and a bit minutes played. And Crystal Palace now leading 1-0 against Southampton. That's a 7:30 kickoff. Will Sahar scoring the goal, and they lead Southampton at Selhurst by 1-0. Just to remind you that 3 Premier League games should have been 4 tonight, but as you know, Burnley Watford postponed, and that will be a corner to Barrow, conceded there by Penny. As Stevens trying to get in behind on the right-hand side. So just to remind you, the other 2 games that we're featuring are still goalless, Premier League, but Wilfred Sahar has scored for Crystal Palace, who lead Southampton by 1-0. Southampton really dropping like a stone in recent weeks as well. A little bit of a worry for them. Right, here's a chance now for Barrow now to try and make something happen here. Number 18, Grayson takes the corners, just like his dad did many years ago. Here's the ball into the penalty area, well headed away, but not very far. Ball played in there once again. Banks with a shot, hits a defender. It Portsmouth, number 3 there, right on there. It was Barrow. And he got his shot in, and in fact, the flag had gone up potentially there for an offside decision, but a bit of a pinball machine moment there as Burgess didn't get the header away properly, and as you can see there, offside there against number 3, Barrow, and a free kick to Ipswich Town. We've just had 10 minutes gone of the first half. If you're wondering why Russ is gone, his game hasn't kicked off yet, so we haven't, as soon as we get to about 5 or 10 minutes into the first half, we will be checking in with Russ Vernon. He will be providing commentary on the last 15 minutes of the first half during our half-time sequence here in the game at Barrow. Just to remind you, we'll stay on the air until the end tonight, whether it's through 90 minutes extra time or penalties. You will hear every kick that matters here on the TCO of this second round cup tie. As I say, cup replay, the winners played Barnsley at Oakwell. The ball forward, and I didn't actually tell you the referee, did I? I did actually. James Bell from South Yorkshire is the referee. He's had to travel about a good 200 miles himself to the Lake District this afternoon for tonight's game. As Jones puts it back, and now Platt onto Grayson. Grayson now gets his head up, knocks a long ball forward, looking towards Gordon, who tries to get away from Nizala, and he was brought down, was he? No, he wasn't, said the referee. Ball behind for a goal kick. And And in fact, let's just go. There's been an opportunity for Wolves. Let's hear about it now from Kieran.
Oh, it was one of the best chances we have. I think Neves should have curled it a little bit more than he did, but it's one of his usual 30-yard screamer attempts, but it was straight easily into the hands of Sanchez. Well played though. It was well linked up from Traore, who crossed in absolutely brilliantly under pressure from about 3 or 4 of the Brighton defence. But Brighton do have a free kick on the edge of the Wolves box at the minute after Gianmartino literally just fouled someone. I'll bring you the goal from that if there is one, as soon as I know. But 28 minutes played, it's still goalless here at the Amex.
Thank you, Kieran. Well, back here at Oaker Street, here's a chance now for Barrow on the left-hand side. Ball played back across and over the top from Gotts from 7 or 8 yards out. It was a lovely move down the left-hand side. A lovely cut back, and all Gotts had to do was keep the shot down. He did everything right. He side-footed it with the right foot, and it just went narrowly wide of Walton's goal here. Lovely play there involving Barrow, who crossed it back superbly, cut the ball back amazingly, but unfortunately, Gotts just couldn't provide the finish, and Ipswich Town survived for the moment anyway. So, still 0-0 in his second round replay. It should have been 1-0 a second ago to Barrow, which really would have split the blue touch paper in this replay. Didn't really come to life in the first one, if memory serves me right, at Portman Road. It wasn't exactly a classic. Let's just hope that this one is a lot more of a classic than it is. Usually a replay is more exciting than the first game. It's the only second round replay, in fact, out of the whole ties. They were all decided at the first goal, apart from this one. So here's Carroll now for Ipswich on halfway. Goes back to Inzala. Inzala now uses Vincent Young. And here he is now. Ball back to Walton. Here's Burgess. Burgess knocks it back again to Walton. And Ipswich now just looking for a way out of trouble. I think it might be down for Walton to give it a big bomb. No, he doesn't. He goes short to Inzala. He goes infield to El Missouri. And here is number 25, Carroll. Back again to the goalkeeper. Barrow actually defending well from the front by the looks of it as well. They're really making Ipswich think at least once or twice when passing the ball around, and not really giving Ipswich diddly spot in the way of options to get the ball upfield. And at the moment, Inzala really running out, almost out of ideas. Here's a Luco now. His shirt was tugged, however, and a free kick has been given to Ipswich, which will give him a little bit of respite. Wipe the culprit there. Referee Bell pulling him up for that. So a free kick it is to Ipswich Town, and it's going to be Walton to take in the all-pink outfit, all-pink strip, as he kicks forward once more. Header away there by Platt. It's out of play for a throw on the far side. Barrow 0, Ipswich 0. Remember, Crystal Palace have scored in the game down at Selhurst. That's a still a 7:30 kickoff, incidentally. Wilfried Zaha with the goal on 2 minutes, giving them the lead. And of course, we've got Brighton 0, Wolves 0, and Arsenal West Ham. I've just kicked off, incidentally, and we'll be going to Ross Vernon in a second or two to see how the early exchanges have been played out. We've had a quarter of an hour here at Oaker Street in the second round FA Cup replay between Barrow and Ipswich. This is replacing the intended live match tonight between Burnley and Watford, which you all know was called off 2.5 hours before kick-off due to COVID regulations. Whether or not I agree with the validation of it, we're not quite sure, but we've just got to rock with it, I suppose, regardless of who thinks who on as far as opinions are concerned. But that's just what it is. And well, let's just cross over to Brighton, because I think there's been an opportunity. Has there been an opportunity there, Keith?
Yeah, there was a little bit of an attack from Brighton there. March giving it a nice, easy, quick... another chance there from Brighton. March giving it a nice... Took the ball all the way along the line, tried to cross it in, but Markel was there, fully stretched, and he took a ball to the gonads. So he was down for a couple of minutes there. They've taken 2 corners. First one was well defended by Markel, straight off the top of his head over the top. And their second corner's just been quickly taken. Lamperty with a easy shot, I would say. curl it in the top bins. We put a bit too many bananas on it. So 32 minutes, it's still 0-0 here.
Great turn of praise, that Kieran. And I like that. Ooh, there. That was very good. Anyway, 0-0 in this game as Fraser gets the ball forward, but Platt does well and gets it back to Paul Farman in an all-yellow strip this evening for Barrow. Former Lincoln City goalkeeper, was in that team, of course, when they were non-league. In 2017, when they locked out Ipswich along the way. Looked at the likes of Oldham, Ipswich, Brighton, Burnley. I'm saying that through gritted teeth, obviously. And then got to a semi-quarter final with Arsenal. They were beaten 5-0 that night, but they came away with an awful lot of credit, of course. Former manager's been knocked out, of course. Danny Carley, Portsmouth knocked out in the last round. So Pompey won't be gracing their presence in round 3 this year. I wonder if Ipswich will be gracing the presence. At the moment, they've been under the cosh here against the Barrow side, who at the moment are certainly shedding in terms of chances created and possession stakes. Here's Gotts on the far side here, the left-hand side, takes on El Mizuni, and he beats him there. Can he find a colleague? He's having to go backwards with El Mizuni tracking him every step of the way. And now here's Banks, the captain, with the tied back air. He looks a diagonal ball out to the right. And he finds number 2 here on the ball, Brown. And back inside to number 13, White. Now, Banks again. Nice ball if he can get Stevens in behind. Stevens with the cross back. And Ipswich in all sorts of defensive trouble. There's a Barrow player gone tumbling there. We'll have to have a look at the replay just to try and sort that one out. Here's a Luco now for Ipswich Town. Just to go backwards now to number 25, Carroll. And now El Missouri. Now an opportunity once again for number 24, this time Vincent Young, to make a break. And in fact, the referee has stopped the play because there is an injury there to one of the Barrow players. Let's have a look at who he is. Looks like Gordon is the man. Now, was there a possible penalty against Burgess here? Possibly. He took his man. We haven't got VAR tonight. I know the Premier League games do, but we haven't got VAR. So, no, that's interesting. Southampton have equalised, incidentally, at Crystal Palace. James Ward-Prowse has levelled it up after 32 minutes there. Let's go. Let's see how the early stage, whilst the players are having a bit of a drinks break here in the FA Cup game. Let's go over to the Emirates for the first time tonight, whilst the games kick off, and let's see how the early stages have gone with RV.
Yes, thank you, JB. Still goalless here between Arsenal and West Ham United. Lacazette closed down as early on as Fabianski cleared out for a throw-in. No real chances just yet as Declan Rice just fetching it over halfway into Lanzini. Back to Massa Walker, who's got to get it back to Diop and back into Declan Rice. West Ham knocking the ball around quite nicely so far, JB. It's still West Ham 0, Arsenal 0, but West Ham just on the counter-attack now, and have just won a free kick. Manuel Lanzini drove over the Arsenal defence and Thomas Partey, and a Partey just stuck out a leg and gets a touch to the ball and then catches Lanzini, and the referee is given a free kick here to West Ham, but I'm not sure that's a free kick. Thomas Partey clearly got the ball there. 6.5 minutes gone here. Arsenal 0, West Ham 0.
Thanks, Ross. We've got a drop ball, which is not a competitive drop ball because if you're giving it Ipswich's favour, so they've had to go backwards to restart an attack. So 0-0 here after 20 minutes of this cup replay. The best chance of the game falling to Gotts about 7 or 8 minutes ago when he sliced the right-footed side foot wide of the target after some good work by Barrow down that left-hand side. Here's number 25 for Ipswich, Carroll. Has to go back to number 26, which is Burgess. Burgess now to Vincent Young. The right winger gets the right back, I should say, and the ball's been lost. Banks is winning in the centre of midfield. Looks to get White on his way. Now number 2 here, Brown has it. Right hand side, Brown back inside once again. Chances here now for White. Has to pirouette back, and he uses his midfield colleague Banks, who almost loses possession. In fact, he got a deflection there off Jackson, and it's going to be a throw into Barrow. There's Mark Cooper, the Barrow manager. Of course, as I was last here on about 4 months ago for an for a League Cup game, and they had Aston Villa as the visitors, and Aston Villa, as I say, won very comfortably 5-0 in a second round game that night. And it was a pretty open and shut case, unfortunately, and it wasn't going to be Barrow's night from there on in. But we are back again tonight with a vengeance. Should tell you that the previous idea for the programme was to carry Burnley against Watford as a live commentary, and we'd have this as a sort of a second sort of commentary, updates during the first part, and then 15-minute commentary. That was due to be Russ's game, but when Burnley got called off, I was asked, would you like to get up? Would you like to zoom up to Barrow? We've lost the... We've lost... something went wrong there. I think my monitor went awry, but there we go. But we'll get the pictures back. Just something that we needed to... Just something there that went a little bit wrong there, but we've got it back now. So 22 minutes gone at the moment. Broiger has just scored for Southampton. They're now winning 2-1 against Crystal Palace. So it's just having a little bit of a slide at the moment after a promising start under Patrick Vieira. We've now played 22 and a half minutes here at Oaker Street. Still Barrow 0, Ipswich 0 in the second round replay of the FA Cup. It will be played to a finish tonight, folks. Either through 90 minutes extra time or possibly penalties. Free kick to Barrow just 10 yards outside their own half. 10 out their own penalty area, I should say. Let's go for a quick check-up on the Emirates. In fact, we'll go to Brighton in a minute. Well, let's just get a progress report from RB for Arsenal against West Ham, that London derby. 8 o'clock kickoff. Let's see what the latest with Ross.
Coming up to 10 minutes here, JB, and it's Arsenal 0, West Ham 0. Kieran Tierney just had a free kick into the wall. Arsenal then got a throw-in. A throw-in's come through in down the left-hand side, and there was an elbow to the face of Kieran Tierney, I think it is. Tierney tried to cross it in. I'm just looking at it again here now. Like I said, back heel through the legs of Dawson. Tierney gets through. Vladimir Sofal on an elbow to the chin of the Arsenal left-back. Arsenal have got a free kick. Vladimir Sofal has got a yellow card for it. And I'm surprised the VAR's not got involved in here to give him more of a serious, because he knew he was doing arm across him, caught him with the elbow underneath his chin. I think VAR maybe just, Anthony Taylor just having a word here with Gabriel saying, I'm refereeing the game here, because he's trying to say it should be a red. And told Lacazette to come and talk to him as well. Arsenal free kick on the left-hand side of the penalty area, in line with the 6-yard box at the moment. 11 minutes gone here, it's still 0-0. We're interested to see if anything comes from this free kick, which is about to be taken any second now. We'll come back up to the live match in a second after we've just seen this free kick here. If Arsenal are in line with the 6-yard box, all the men inside there, Lacazette on the edge of the penalty area. If Arsenal decide to do that, he puts the ball in there, does Odegaard, and it's cleared for West Ham. Back in by the left foot of Kieran Tierney. It was Martinelli who brings it down inside the box, fouls his man, Bowen, and it's 0-0 coming up towards 12 minutes gone here.
And a super smashing commentary from Ross there. And he will take over commentary when we finish the first half here during our half-time sequence. So you will hear a bit of him commentating on the closing stages of each half if we get a result here after 90 minutes. Anyway, Barrow back here in the cut replay with a chance here for an early goal. They've got it! They've got it on the edge of the area. Barrow have scored! And it's Stevens who's got it right foot, side foot, and it's soon past Walton before he could even blink. He never even moved, the Ipswich keeper, and the 1978 winners are behind at Oaker Street. It's Barrow 1, Ipswich 0. Have we got a shocker in the FA Cup? The whole place has gone absolutely bonkers. Stevens with the right foot. It was a short corner here. Lovely ball back again by Gotts, and Stevens just smashed it in. Walton did not have a price. And what a moment for Barrow. In the second round replay, Stevens with the right foot deflects off a defender and it goes in. The goalkeeper beaten before he could set himself. And we have a shock on at Oaker Street, folks. It's Barrow 1, Ipswich Town 0. Stevens the goal scorer. 26 minutes on the clock. What a moment for Barrow. And if they hold on to the lead, they could be shocking the 1978 Cup winners. This is unbelievable. Jordan Stevens, the scorer. Former Leeds player, as it's telling me over my headset. But what a moment for him. We've got a player down injured. So whilst that injury's been tended to, and while we settle down here, let's get a progress report from the Amex here with Kieran.
Thank you very much. We did have a penalty shout about 5 minutes ago, but in my personal opinion, it definitely wasn't. He dived and he should have got booked. And that's me saying that against one of my own team. Brighton had another good attack. Nothing came of it again because Traore is a man mountain and so is Marcal. We've got a free kick currently all right on the edge of the box. We've got Trincao and Podence standing over the top of it. Just stay with me as we take this. Brighton's got one man lying down along with Traore and Martinho joining them just in front of the wall. Podence tries to whip it up, hits the wall. Looks like it's going to run out for a corner. And goes out for a Wolves corner. So 44 minutes played. Waiting to find out how much we get for stoppage time. But it's still Brighton 0, Wolves 0. And we have a corner.
Thank you very much indeed, Kieran. If there is a goal in that last few seconds, we'll bring it to you here on the TC Hub. And, of course, we'll also give a half-time report in a few moments' time as well. As soon as we get to half-time, we'll cross back to Kieran for a half-time update because we're coming up to half-time in most of the 7:30 games. Here's a chance there as Hartman came crashing out as Jackson came charging in there. But Farman was just first to the ball and he got it just on the edge of the box, but inside the box. So Barrow 1, Ipswich 0. That's the big story tonight in the FA Cup, sponsored, of course, by Emirates. A place in the third round away at Barnsley is the prize for the winners tonight. Barrow leading by a goal scored by Stevens. And he's been fouled, as he knows, says the referee. What a moment for him. And it was a lovely work delivery from Gotts as well. He pulled the ball back amazingly. And Gotts, incidentally, was the one who missed a similar chance about 15 minutes before. Here he is now on the ball. Can't chest it down. Hooked away now by Inzala. Tell you what, John McGreal's side have got a real mountain to climb. We also saw Kieran Dyer as well, looking anxiously on from the bench as Walton just lets that go, and it will be a goal kick for Ipswich. John McGreal. Well, if he knew how tough this was going to be at the start, he knows how tough it's going to be now. That is for sure. 29 gone here at Oaker Street. And there's been a goal in the game between Wolves and Brighton. Which way has he gone, kid?
It has gone to the mighty Wolverhampton Wanderers. Two corners very quickly taken. Ball comes straight out to Neves, flips it straight over all the way over the defenders, straight into Romain Saïs's path. Nice little cheeky right foot tap, straight past the goalkeeper into the bottom left-hand corner. There's 3 minutes added on. What a fantastic start. Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Come on, the boys.
Very unbiased opinion there from Kieran. Here's Stevens now, the scoring. Bundles down. Oh, and an opportunity there inside the penalty area. It was Gotts again with the right-footed effort. And Stevens, again, not for the first time, getting free down that right-hand side. No doubt he was onside as the ball was played. Lovely early cross in there. And Gotts again with the right foot, just narrowly wide of Walton's right-hand post. But the football that Barrow are putting on tonight so far is getting the seal of approval from this small but very full crowd here, around about 2,500 inside Holker Street, which is, well, on a bad day, can be very cold, but it's, tell you what, it's hotting up here. It's actually been quite mild in the northwest recently. Temperatures have been as high as 10 degrees during the day, but I'll tell you what, out on the pitch, it's been quite white hot at the moment. So 1-0 it is at the Dooms Hotel Stadium, to give it its full name. It's sponsored by Dooms Hotel, quite obviously. Ipswich, just a little side note on Ipswich's sponsorship deal as we come towards the half-hour mark. They're sponsored by leading pop star Ed Sheeran. Never heard of him. My knowledge of pop music ends at 1989, but apparently he's had major success, and apparently he's got a Christmas song out with Elton John, I'm told. But that just shows how shows how rubbish I am at pop music, I should say. Excuse me there. But anyway, corner kick. We'll cross over in a second. We'll get a report from Kieran at half time. Although there's been a chance at Brighton, but we'll stick with this corner because Wolves are taking it short, and Aluko's there. Apologies if I came out with a C word. It's not like me, but I was just berating my own self there. So apologies there if you heard that said. Couple of comments. Carol Bates, VAR Tech. I don't know what that means, Carol. I don't know what you mean by that, but we'll take you whatever you say. If you want to comment, please actually comment and make sure that the comments make some sense to us so we can actually read them out on air. That would be quite helpful, actually, ladies and gents. So that would be helpful. We'll cross to it's half time at the Amex, and once we get the ball out of play, we'll be crossing to Kieran in a second, and then of course we'll be getting another update from RV down at the Emirates. My two colleagues very southern than me tonight. I'm right up in the north, as you can imagine, right up on that northwest coast with a sea breeze. In Cumbria, right by the lakes, ball headed back for Paul Farman. So let's get a half-time report from Kieran from the Amex between Brighton and Hove Albion and Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Well, it was nearly a draw going into half-time then. Brighton had one of the most wasted chances I think they ever could have. They had 3 attempts in less than 5 seconds, and it didn't go to plan. First off, their number 11, Trossard, took a shot, deflected straight out of the Wolves' defence. Then their number 33 of Byrne took a cheeky flick, got pushed away again. And then their number 12 of Mwepu, apologies if I've got that completely butchered there, shoots it way over the bar when all he needed to do was a slight tap and it was going straight in the back of the nets. Well, interesting first half, I must say. Obviously, it's good to be 1-0 ahead, but there's still a long way to go, and we've got a history with this team. So it's certainly interesting to see what happens in the second half. This could go badly wrong. But it's been an end-to-end so far. Let's have a quick look at the stats. I am keeping an eye on your game as well, JB, to jump back to you if I need to. Wolves have had fair amount of possession, 45%. Brighton's had a 55%. They've had more shots with 5 and only 2 of those on target. We've got slightly more accuracy with 3 shots and 2 on target. So it's fairly, I'd say, even Stevens at the minute. But obviously we're more dominant with the goal. They were calling for offside, but it's been checked, and it was definitely onside. Chance for you.
Yes, and there's a chance there. Thank you very much, Kieran. Go and enjoy your half-time bovril. Here's number 13 on the ball. White will be crossing back to Russ Burden in just a second, folks. But there was a chance. It's probably petered out a little bit, but let's just see. Here's Gordon getting the ball forward. Chances here now if Stevens can get his head up here. He's got a cross in from the right-hand side. Good ball in. Oh, chance here on the ball post. It might fall here. It's a second goal. It's got. It's 2-0 Barrow. They've deserved it on the balance of play. Goss gets the second one. Stevens got the first. Goss gets the second. He couldn't miss from 6 yards. He slams it in the side of the right foot. Past the despairing Diamond Walton. And this is turning into a real fairy tale. The shockies on everybody. It's Barrow 2, Ipswich 0. I tell you what. It's a good job we changed our schedule for this. Because I'm telling you now, we are seeing a classic cup upset developing here at the Dooms Hotel Stadium here in Barrow. It's Stevens' ball into the penalty area. It wasn't dealt with properly. The ball came back. It was a nice little header back, in fact, by Gordon into the 6-yard box. Here's Stevens' cross. This is everybody. The ball knocked back. In fact, it was knocked back by Barrow and got unmarked. 7-8 yards outside of the right foot. Walton going the opposite way to where the ball went. And into the roof, the ball went. And Barrow have got themselves a 2-goal buffer here in this second round replay. The shock is on. Barrow 2, Ipswich, the 1978 winners, 0. Gott's the scorer. And there was practically 9 minutes between the two Barrow goals. It has been one of those nights where it's just been so frustrating for Ipswich Town. They just haven't got into it at all as an attacking force. Robbie Gotts, the goal scorer, an ex-Leeds man, of course. It would have to be, wouldn't it? But those Barrow fans are enjoying life at the moment. We'll be crossing to Ross in a few seconds or so. But at the moment, it's Barrow on top, and they're going forward again with Gordon. Down the right-hand side, here's Stevens, who got the first goal on 26 minutes. Here's Brown, but he's lost it this time. And Barrow have conceded a free kick. Aluko's been fouled. Let's go down to the Emirates to see how Arsenal and West Ham are shaping on. Has there been any goals yet, Russ?
No goals yet, JB. I think you and Kevin have stolen from me today. Still Arsenal 0, West Ham United 0 as Arsenal try and come on the attack now with Gabriel Martinelli just outside the penalty area. Switches across to the right hand side where Bukayo Saka is. Saka twisting and turning, ball to the back post. Like he's exited down and cleared away in there by Soychek, who was back helping out in the defence for West Ham. Comes out to Partey, back to Ben White. Arsenal still on this attack. Yet to be done here. Here's Saka. Lovely one from Saka down the right hand side. Plays the ball inside to Tomiyasu. Back towards Saka. Gets it from Masuaku. Bukayo Saka slips and goes down inside the penalty. Masuaku down 2. Also wanting a penalty, nothing given. And then it's it behind for a goal kick. Arsenal wanting a penalty. West Ham wanting a free kick. I'm not sure which way this will go just yet. I'll come back to you when I know which way it's gone. I'm just watching the replay. And for me, if anything, it should be a free kick to West Ham because Bukayo Saka kicks the foot of Masuaku. So it's 0-0, 25 minutes gone. Arsenal follows the penalty. I thought West Ham should have had a free kick for that. We'll see what VAR says in a moment. Still 0-0 here, JB.
Thank you, Russ, and we'll come back to you regarding the VAR in a second. But here at the Dunes Hotels Arena here in Barrow, it's Barrow 2, Ipswich Town 0 in the second round replay of the FA Cup. We will be crossing to Russ at the half-time during this game to bring you the closing stages of commentary between Arsenal and West Ham. So we will be crossing for 15-minute commentary at the climax of the first half at Arsenal. So don't worry, we'll be keeping you entertained all the way through on the programme tonight. So if one feature game is going to half-time, another can take its place for 15 minutes, and then we carry on with the second half as per usual. So you will not be disappointed, folks, with the entertainment that we got on show for you tonight. We've had 3 goals in 2 of our featured games, one at Brighton against Wolves, which Wolves are leading by a goal to 0. And we've had 2 goals here in our live commentary game. Sorry, Russ, if I stole your game tonight. But here we are. What an afternoon, what an evening we've got for you here tonight. Norwood's fouled his man for a kick to Barrow, who lead by 2 goals to 0. Stevens and Gotts, the goal scorers. What a moment for those 2 guys to treasure. Barrow in the previous round knocked out Banbury by 5 goals to 1 or something like that. But they're going really well here today, and they're looking. It's hard to tell who's the League 1 side in this and who's the League 2 side. Of course, Barrow's struggling in League 2 at the moment, 19th position, and trying desperately hard to stay in the league at the moment. It's not been easy for them. Of course, financially, it's very difficult to compete even in the Football League, as Morecambe, not too far away down the coast, found that out for many, many years since when they went up back in 2007. And they spent quite a number of years in that division until last year when they finally got out of it. Doing very well to stay outside the bottom 4 in that division. Simon Grayson, who's just been relieved of his duties at Fleetwood, is, I guess, watching his son here in action tonight. And his team, and it's Grayson now who flicks the ball on. Here's a chance for Stevens. Stevenson's crossed now. They're looking for a third goal, which could put Ipswich well and truly out of sight before half time. Here's Stevens again, right hand side. It's turning out to be a magical night for Barrow here this evening against the 1978 winners Ipswich Town. Goodness knows what Terry Butch is here for television tonight. Goodness knows what he'll be thinking once half-time comes around. Here's Jones in possession. Jones plays a 1-2, tries to get it round the corner, and Penny gets it away for Ipswich Town. And they need a little bit. Maybe John McGreal needs to get them in at half-time with no more further damage, and potentially read them the right attack. Potentially, there's been a penalty appeal waved away by Arsenal, and what we'll do is stick with this rest of the first half here at Barrow, and then we'll cross to Russ for uninterrupted last 15-minute last portion of the first half commentary from the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal and West Ham are drawing 0-0, and then we'll bring you second half commentary of this game as well, full second half commentary with updates from Arsenal and from Brighton. They're at half time, incidentally. Palace trailing 2-1 at the break to Southampton at half time at Selhurst Park. Just to remind you of the other game, Burnley against Watford, as you well know, match cancelled due to an apparent COVID outbreak. If you want my views on that, click on the video that I did about an hour or two ago on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it at JB Sports, and you can have your own ideas on that. Anyway, that's fair to say I wasn't very happy about it. Anyway, free kick to Barrow. They're certainly making up for it, making up for our loss. You know, this is certainly making up for the loss of the Burnley match tonight. We've got a cup shock, and maybe, just maybe, Barrow could be up in search of a third as Banks attacks this ball, headed away by Norwood. And here he is now, gets it away. Jackson now forward, and in fact, a foul there on Jackson, midway inside the Ipswich half has been given, and will be a free kick to Barrow. Let's just get a bit more on that penalty appeal now with Ross.
Yes, JB, Arsenal got through with Martinelli, went down under the challenge, no penalty there, but then Lacazette broke through, pulled the ball through the legs of Dawson, got his other leg trapped between Dawson's. Dawson went to try and block the effort. He went down. Arsenal appealed. As he was right in front of the incident, on top of the incident, said no, and I think that was the correct call. Arsenal 0, West Ham 0, 30 minutes gone.
Thank you, Russ, and we'll be coming back to you shortly, and you're going to guide us through the last sort of 12 minutes of the first half there. We'll come back, and you'll hear Russ commentating on the closing stages of the first half during the half-time sequence here at Barrow. JB Sport, TC Hub in association with JB Sports, J That Football, Storm FM, and TC Hub 2 and Twitter and Twitch bring you FA Cup and Premier League action for a Wednesday night. Free kick Ipswich, far side. Can they float it in deep inside Barrow territory? Can they find a way back into this Ipswich? They need to strike while the iron is up before the break. Header behind it will be a corner. And it was headed behind there by Platt. And it just shooting past Paul Farman's right-hand post. So an opportunity now for Ipswich in the darker shirts to try and pull a goal back. And they need a goal here. As the ball is going to be corner's going to be taken far side. Are we going to see a bit of a turnaround here? As Amazumi and number 2 there, Brown, are being spoken to by referee Bell. It's always you're always going to get jostling and pushing, and as we're going to 2 added minutes at the end of the first half, folks, it's 2-0 to Barrow. 2 goals in the space of 9 first half minutes. Dividing the teams as the header goes in from Burgess and heads it wide of the left-hand post, and a goal kick to Barrow, who lead by 2 goals to 0. Yes, 26 minutes, the first goal scored by Stevens, and then the second one 9 minutes later from Gotts. Both nice right-footed side-footers into the roof of the net on both occasions. Really good finishes there, which has got the Barrow fans purring with delight here at the Dunes Hotel here in Barrow, in fairness. Dunes Hotel Arena, I should say. Anyway, here's a goal kick to Barrow, taken by Paul Farmer, right-footed. Of course, a quarter-finalist in his Lincoln days many years ago. Ball straight out of play. Will be a throw-in to Ipswich. We're now playing the second of the 2 minutes added on by the fourth official. FA Cup second round replay. The winners go to Barnsley in round 3 on January the 7th. So a real upset here in the making. It looks as if it's going to be Barrow who are going to walk well at the moment. Here's Gordon on the far side, takes on Inzala, gets the cross in, it goes behind everybody, and Ipswich making another dog's dinner of trying to clear this at the moment. They defensively have been rather poor, Ipswich Town, in a lot of respects. They just haven't really got into it at all. But meanwhile, here's Norwood now, down the left-hand side for Ipswich Town. How you must feel for their supporters, having made a 700-mile round journey for nothing, and their team really haven't put on enough of the display to warrant even being back in this game. It's been a torturous first half for all Ipswich Town supporters, I'm afraid. As the whistle is bolted for half-time, so before we go over to Russ, let's just sum up that first half in a few minutes, in a few seconds, shall we? Stevens with the first goal on 26 minutes, putting Barrow into the lead. A superb right-footed shot, and then 9 minutes later, after some good work, firstly from Stevens, with a cross, header back brilliantly there by Barrow, and got with a side of a right foot from about 8 yards out. He could hardly miss. And I'm off on my half-time bubble, but Russ is certainly ready to take over from me now, as he takes you now through the closing stages of the first half at the Emirates. So, Russ, it's all yours for the next 15 minutes.
Thank you, JB. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Emirates. We're still Arsenal 0, West Ham United 0, as Arsenal just keeping the possession. At the back is Gabriel across to Ben White, and Ben White will play the ball forward, will he? No, he plays it back to Gabriel, his defensive partner, and Arsenal will just try and get the ball forward. Here's Declan Rice for West Ham, though, into Lanzini. Good ball into Fornals. Out wide on this right hand side is Kufal. Down the line into Lanzini. Lanzini on towards Jared Bowen. Can it be a super smashing great cross here from Bowen? No, he cuts inside and then takes a shot which wasn't super smashing or great, and he blocked by Arsenal, but West Ham have the ball back. Here's Masuaku into Declan Rice once more. Rice plays a lovely ball across to Vladimir Kufal, fetches it down under pressure there from Kieran Tierney, but he still keeps possession. Ball's not going out of play as he wanted for a corner. Tierney has it to away ball as far as Bowen. That's been a bit better from Bowen there to play back to Dawson. Now Rice will come forward again and start the attack again for West Ham. Into Fornals, who will look up and feed in Dawson. Dawson across now to Soufal. Soufal back into Dawson, and West Ham will look to keep possession coming towards the end of the first half. It's Arsenal 0, West Ham United 0 here at the Emirates. 36 gone. Lanzini across into the path of Dawson. Down the line it goes, and out of play for a throw. We'll get across to Kieran in a couple of minutes for an update on the second half. There's just been a chance for Wolves. We'll go across to Kieran for that one right now, actually, as going to Arsenal. It's still 0-0. Kieran, chance for Wolves there, I understand, my friend.
Oh, it was so close. It was so close, but bear with me. I've got Adama Traore in the attack now. What a through ball. Take it. Oh, great save. No, getting to the chance back before there. Nice little link-up play between Podence and Martial. Podence flicking it towards Martial. Martial goes for a cheeky little shot from probably a 90-degree angle. Just a little bit too high. Ricochets off the crossbar and goes back out. But just Traore with a fantastic little run, feeding straight forward to Trincao. I think Trincao should have put a little bit more power on this and maybe dropped it to the left a little bit more. But that was a really good chance. We have got a corner now, but it's 48 minutes played, and it's Brighton 0, Wolves 1 still.
Thank you, Kieran. Back to Kieran with any updates as the evening progresses during the 50 minutes here and during the second half of Barrow against Ipswich. It's still Arsenal 0, West Ham United 0 here as West Ham with a chance from Lanzini just gone wide of that left Dan Purse's Ramsdale watched on. Ramsdale now takes a goal kick up towards this right side where Tomiyasu will challenge Declan Rice with. Rice wins the header ball as far as Partey. Now it's Stoichek who hits the ball up in the air looking for Mikel Antonio, brings it down on his knee, who goes out of play through an Arsenal throw. Tomiyasu will keep hold of possession and will look to take the throw in, and he's looking for movement from Xhaka, from Partey, from Odegaard. Instead he goes to the line for Saka, controls on his chest, comes out off a Massa Walker, and Arsenal get another throw inside the West Ham half this time. He waits for Saka to get back on the field, just Tomiyasu, before taking the throw down the line to him. He gets it back, does the Japanese right back. Here's Thomas Partey to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka's got Tini outside of him and used him. He's got Martinelli making the run down the line, but he goes back into Granit Xhaka. Xhaka goes back to Gabriel, and Gabriel will take a touch with his left foot, cuts inside on his left foot and knocks the ball back to Ben White, just onside the centre circle. Here's Tomiyasu. Down the line it goes, here's Saka. Deflects off Master Walker out for a throw to Arsenal. I understand that my referee's my box has stopped working at the Amex. There's a break in play till they manage to fix it. Still 1-0 to Wolves. There any updates we'll get from Kieran on the match. Here's Lanzini. Gives the ball to Rice, who fouls Lacazette. So the Arsenal captain today felt. Lacazette knocks the ball back. Here's Saka. Saka inside the penalty area. To Odegaard, back to Saka. Goes to Xhaka, whose shot is blocked. West Ham can get clear on this post. Tino fires. And off the crossbar from Kieran. Tino breaks away. Also when Kieran up inside the box there. Breaks for Odegaard. Left hand side. There's West Ham attack. Right hand side is Arsenal attack. Here's Lacazette inside the penalty area. And Stoichek under pressure puts the ball behind for a corner to Arsenal. Arsenal 0, West Ham United 0 is the scoreline coming up towards 5 minutes till half time here in the Emirates. In the Premier League, Arsenal against West Ham. Kieran Tierney goes for goal from the effort a few moments ago, and it was a fingertip save onto the crossbar from Fabianski. That's how close Arsenal were from opening the scoring. Arsenal with a corner. Saka to take. In towards the middle of the box. Flicked on there by Xhaka. Breaks away for Park. Goes on the edge of the box. Now Martinelli to Ben White, who twists and turns and feeds the ball out wide to Saka. Attacking his man. Takes past Lanzini. In towards the penalty and on against Masuaku, who stands up tall and does well to defend. Here's Fornals for West Ham. Nice 1-2 with Stoichek. Fornals gets the ball forward, looking towards the run of Jared Bowen, who can't get there. So it was a super smashing or even a great pass there from the West Ham man. Yeah, it's Odegaard, flicked forward by Tomiyasu. Here's Lanzini. Back to Stoichek. Stoichek in towards Dawson. Wants to run across to get that as the ball was span away from him. Dawson hits the ball forward as Rice were calling for it. On towards the chest of Antonio. Can't get there as Gabriel won the ball back. And now it's with Ben White for Arsenal. Still goals here between Arsenal and West Ham, as West Ham do some fantastic defending to get the ball away on this far as Alexander Lacazette. Lacazette into Tomiyasu. Awali Saka. We'll see if we manage to see to the back in a second. As Saka tries to pull the ball into the box. His Partey, whose shot is blocked. Comes all the way to Gabriel, who's got Bowen under pressure. That's a super smashing pass forward to get him away from Bowen. And here is Ben White. Across to Ramsdale. While also just playing it out from the back. As the play don't resume, Jack Kieran at the MX, or is they still waiting for the technical difficulties to be sorted?
It's still having issues. Looks like they're just getting him ready now. It looked like there was a problem with the referee's microphone. They thought it was the box that was the problem, but turns out it was his headset. The Hawkeye technician there just repairing it. The ref's now running back onto the pitch. Looks like we're finally going to get back to this corner that I started speaking to you about probably about 8 or 9 minutes ago now. So it's definitely going to be a lot of time added on here at the end of the game, but we're about to get underway here. Still 1-0 to Wolves.
Thank you, Kieran. We'll get regular updates with Kieran from the game at the Amex between Brighton and Wolves. But also, here at the Emirates, still goalless, coming up towards the half time as Lacazette goes down on the edge of the box. No free kick. Here's Rice. Wonderful challenge from Arsenal to get the ball back. Here's Ben White this time. Now out wide to Saka. Lovely one here from Saka. Twisting, turning. Plays it back to Tomiyasu. Good run from Tomiyasu. Rolling towards the penalty area. Well, Martinelli was there. Odegaard gets it back. Stoichkov wins the ball back, and now it's Mikel Antonio breaking away on that far side. He's got bowling through the centre for now. He's on the far side. If you can spot him, he tried to do that, but his angle's wrong, and it was clipped in the end by Ramsdale. Remains side to just the crossbar for Wolves, so the Amex will live. About that in a moment as Saka picks up for Arsenal. Running forward here is Saka. Twisting, turning inside. Ball across into Lacazette on the edge of the box. Shot saved. Gabriel Martinelli puts it wide, and somehow Arsenal doesn't take the lead. Gabriel Martinelli going for goal there. After Lacazette's shot was saved, he come from Saka. Wonderful pass into Lacazette on the edge of the box. His shot is saved. Comes out to Martinelli, and the reason why he didn't get his shot off there did Martinelli was brilliant piece of defending from Craig Dawson to get a block in there and put it out off of the Arsenal man for a goal kick, as we just see that teeny effort from a few moments ago which struck the crossbar via a fingertip of Lucas Fabianski. Let's see about that chance from Romain Says, which bounced off the bar at the MX. Brighton against Wolves. Last time was 1-0 to Wolves. That's still the same. And how close was Wolves from doubling their lead, Kieran?
Incredibly close. It was another 90-degree angled shot on the goal, which ricocheted off the left-hand bar. But here we go. Second Moutinho to Podence. Podence! Oh, fantastic save by the Brighton keeper there. Right now on the counter-attack. But no, it was another 90-degree angle shot. Romain Saez giving it a lovely little belter. I swear the bar is still shaking from that, and it happened a couple of minutes ago. It was a fantastic effort. But just clipping the bar, was well past the keeper, beating the keeper, but clipped the bar and stayed in play. But Brighton getting it away. And Wolves just having a great chance there. I think Podence should have put a little bit more bananas on that one just to try and get it in. But 56 minutes played. We've got a stopping play here as Markel's been hit in the face by the Brighton number 20, but he is up now. But still 1-0 Wolves here.
Thank you, Kieran. Get back to Kieran. Regular updates as Lacazette can't keep the ball in play for Arsenal as West Ham earn a throw as we come towards the end of the first half stoppage time here, where we've got a minute of that. The minute is about 5 seconds before that minute is up. The referee, Anthony Taylor, blows for the half-time whistle, and it's Arsenal 0, West Ham United 0 at the break. Fantastic first half. No goals, but chances for both Arsenal and for West Ham in the end. And Arsenal going close. West Ham going close as well. And at the moment it's still 0-0 between these two sides. We'll get back to JB very, very shortly. I'll just keep going for the first half. It's still 2-1 to Southampton against Crystal Palace in the game, which also kicked off at 7:30 this evening in the Premier League. We've just said our Wolves are still leading by a goal to 0 against Brighton. We'll get ready for the second half of our featured game in a second. I can just see from the reactions that I can see that Kieran, I think there's just been another glorious opportunity in that game. But which way Kieran has gone? I think from the reaction I can see here, he's gone to the way of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Tell us all about it, my friend.
Yeah, it was another glorious chance. It was wasted again. Podence not putting the power on his shots, just going for a little tap rather than the full power. It was a fantastic breakaway play. Veltman dropped to the ground, slipped on probably water as the grass is a bit slippery. You can't see the quotation marks I'm doing here with my fingers. But ran a drama straight the way through, squared it onto Podence. All Podence had to do was put his foot through it and put as much power in it as he can. But he decided to go for the less power shot, and it was easily saved by Sanchez. So it's still 1-0 here as we just approached 59 minutes played, and Brighton are back on the attack.
Yes, thank you, Q. We'll get back to our featured match in a few moments between Barrow and Ipswich. And right on Q, the teams are back out of Barrow against Ipswich. Time for us to hand back over to your match commentator, JB, for second half commentary, and then updates on Arsenal against West Ham and Brighton against Wolves throughout the second half before commentary will resume for the final few minutes, unless it goes to extra time at Barrow against Ipswich. Then we'll just have updates on the rest of the Arsenal game. But back over to Orchard Street for Barrow against Ipswich. He's over to your match commentator, JB.
Thanks, Russ. And a couple of substitutions. Wolfenden and Sam Morsey have come on, and they've replaced Fraser being one of them. And I can't tell you who the other one was. I can't remember. But what I can tell you, if Russ can help me with that second substitution, that'd be great. Basically, so Ipswich, so Ipswich now have made two substitutions, but I can tell you that Morsey and Wolfenden are on for substitutions. No changes I can see from either from Barrow's point of view. So it's as you were for them, as they lead by 2-0 going into the second half here at Olker Street. A very darkened night here in the Lake District. It's a trip to the lakes that Ipswich won't have too many fond memories with at the moment, unless they can drag themselves back into it again. As we get underway then, Banks gets us up and running as he plays the ball back, and away we go then. And we'll be crossing to Kieran in a second or two. There's been an opportunity in the game down at the Amex. But off we go then. So two substitutions at half-time. Wolfenden and Sam Morsey are on. So the changes have been made by John McGreal at half-time. He's not happy as Aluko spreads the play out towards the far side, but it's well intercepted by Brown. And the ball then knocked forward once again. So it's Wolfenden and Morsey on for Carroll and Fraser. So it's Carroll that's been sacrificed, the other substitution. Thank you for confirming that. Thank you very much indeed, Russ. You go and enjoy your half-time bobble. Here's a chance now for Ipswich, and it's stabbed wide by Norwood inside the area. It was a long ball forward from the left-hand side. Norwood got in behind, but stabbed it with the studs right-footed. It was a long kick, in fact, by Walton that got him in the clear, but he stabbed it wide of Paul Farman, but stabbed it wide of Farman's right-hand far post, and Barrow survived for the moment. So let's go straight to the Amex for and get some put the flesh on the bones of a chance for Brighton, and it's over to Kieran.
Yeah, it was a free kick after a bit of a tussle between Markel and I can't remember who he was tussling with. The free kick taken nice and quickly. There's another stop in play. The ref still having problems with his mic box. So, I wonder whether this could warrant the game being called off, but we'll have to wait and see. But his microphone box has stopped working again. This is the third time we've had a break in play for this. So there's a bit of a break in play here, so there's going to be a lot of time added on. But getting back to Brighton's chance, it was whipped in from the free kick, given a little bit too many bananas by Mwepu, and it went probably about 50 feet in the air and straight into the hands of Jose Sarr. So a bit of a wasted chance. They're putting too much bananas on their shots. We're not putting enough bananas on our shots, so it's definitely frustrating. But another break in play here as the ref gets his microphone box sorted again. But still, Wolves 1, Brighton Hove Albion 0. I'm expecting at least 10 minutes added on here.
Oh dear. Anyway, meanwhile, while we're away, Ipswich created a chance from the right-hand side. It was stabbed wide for a corner. And maybe the substitution's working, but Interesting what's going down at Brighton. I hope they put a lot of batteries down there for the referee's walkie-talkies as the ball is sent into the area and the header just goes wide inside the penalty area. Bit of a crowd scene in there from that corner from the right-hand side. It was flicked forward, and I'm just trying to make out who it was. It was Wolford who got the header in and just missed the angle of Paul Farman's left-hand post and crossbar. But Wolford in there almost making the impact for Ipswich Town, who trailed by 2-0 here at Olker Street in Barrow. John McGreal, Kieran Dyer, former Ipswich player, came through the youth academy at Portman Road. Went on to greater things at Newcastle, of course. Of course, he had a stint in the jungle a few years ago on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, of course. Well, we can't forget that part of his life, can we? If you just were tuning in and wondering what is happening, let me tell you, in our featured game in the FA Cup second round replay, Barrow leading Ipswich by 2-0. Stevens and Gotts with the goals in the first half. Stevens after 26 minutes, Gotts 35, putting Mark Cooper's team in charge. Elsewhere, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 2 is the latest score. In our other featured games, which we've got updates from Kieran tonight, and we're glad to have him back on the TCR. By the way, it's Brighton 0, Wolves 1. That's his team, incidentally, Wolves. So good night for him so far. As Brighton stage a bit of a comeback. And in Russ's match, we've got Russ Vernon, of course, at the Emirates Stadium, where it's goalless at half-time. He's having his half-time Bovril. And this week we'll bring him, once he starts the game in the second half, we'll be rejoining him for updates throughout the conclusion of this cup tie. And, of course, if it does end after 90 minutes, this cup tie, we'll be switching straight to the Emirates for the rest of the night with Russ to bring you the climax of West Ham against Arsenal. So plenty to look forward to there. In fact, Palace have equalised. Jordan Ayew has just scored. In a while since he scored, 65 on the clock there. Palace 2, Southampton 2. Real cracker down at Selhurst tonight. So real cracker down here, up here at Olker Street. That's for sure. And on the northwest coast in the Lake District as Wolverton gets it away for Ipswich Town, who trail 2-0 to Barrow. 19th in League 2, plays 12th in League 1 tonight. Jackson's wins a free kick to run halfway for Ipswich on the right-hand side. Their fans quite worried at the moment. Those Ed Sheeran-sponsored Ipswich shirts. Please do that with me who Ed Sheeran is. I know he's a singer of some repute, and apparently he's got a Christmas record out with Elton John. But as I said, my knowledge of pop music runs out about 1998, unfortunately. Here's Wolford now for Ipswich Town. He plays it in towards El Majuni. Majuni now running forward, but he has to go backwards here to number 55, Sam Morsey. And he gets it out towards the far side. Ball will be played back to Sam Morsey. Can he induce some Morse code into Ipswich's play, potentially here? As the ball is now hooked forward once again, but again, it's a poor ball, really. Telegraph play, really, from Ipswich Town. They just haven't really got going. It was easy there for Platt to cut it out, and it's a throw into Ipswich inside their own half. Well, just inside the Barrow half, which Vincent Young's going to take on the near side. 2-0 to Barrow. Gotts and Stevens, the goal scorers. Stevens with the first one on 26. Gotts on 35 here in Barrow in Furness. Not far away from Lake Windermere and the bonus on Windermere, and of course Grange Over Sands and Fluteborough, the caravan site, of course, up there. Of course, if you're familiar with that part of the world, lovely part of the world, and of course Barrow in Furness, and 20 miles south of that, you've got Lancaster and Morecambe and Heysham. Nice part of the world in that part of the world. There's Barrow have some defending to do, and the ball is up behind. Ipswich think it should be a corner there off number 14, Jones, but it's a goal kick to the Ipswich players' constellation, and they can't believe it. And it's still 2-0 to Barrow as we go into the 53rd minute. We've had 52 and a half minutes, in fact. And it's going to be Paul Farman, who is an experienced cup campaigner, played in that 5-0 trouncing against when they were trounced 5-0 by Aston Villa. But at the moment, he's on course for a clean sheet and maybe back to shocking people in the FA Cup, Paul Farman. Terrific little goalkeeper he is. I remember him at Burnley in that when they won, when his team at the time, Lincoln City, won by a goal to nil. He kept out Andre Gray, Joey Barton, Ashley Barnes on many occasions when Lincoln achieved one of the greatest victories of all time in the FA Cup, in their point of view. Elisa Luco, a finalist in 2014, trying to get some pride back into their play now as Al-Masuri now finds Sam Morsey. Can he inspire a bit of Morse code into Ipswich's play? Morsey shoots and it's not held by Farman and holds it at the second attempt when Jackson was charging in there and Farman is down injured. And I just wonder, that was brave goalkeeping firstly, but he didn't hold the shot well from Sam Morsey. Got a bit of Morse code on this shot. Just swerved a little bit, maybe bounced in front. And he got the ball at the second attempt. Good, as I say, right-footed from Morsey. And that's good goalkeeping from Farman on the second gabber, because Jackson's running in like a bull in a china shop. And that's brilliant from Paul Farman. Brave, but brilliant, that's for sure. Whilst he's getting a bit of treatment out there, let's quickly check in with what's happening down at Brighton on the south coast. Here's Kieran.
It's been pretty quiet, to be honest. I've just had a bit of a three-kick. Basuma trying to get a shot off, but puts his foot up as he tries to receive the ball, but puts that straight into the shoulder of Martial. So Martial went down injured. So Basuma got carded. It's his 5th yellow card of the season, so he is now suspended for Brighton's game against Manchester United on Saturday if it goes ahead. So it's going to be it's been pretty boring the past 10 minutes or so, really. It's been end to end. It's typical Brighton versus Wolves. Not much happening. When it does happen, it comes in small waves. So nothing major to report at the current moment in time, apart from that yellow card. So it's still Brighton 0, Wolves 0. Brighton 0, Wolves 1. With 71 minutes played.
Get it right first time, Kieran. Thank you very much indeed. Right, Paul Farman, I'm pleased to report he's on his feet here at the moment. It was a good time to join Kieran at that point because obviously we've got the injury. Farman is got mud on his jersey and at least he's okay now. He's just rubbing some excess mud off his gloves onto his goalkeeping jersey, and the ball now is in his hands, and he'll kick out from his hands from the edge of the area. He was inside the area as he struck the goal kick. Just to clear up any confusion from any listeners that might be listening and thinking, what's he saying? As Ipswich in those Ed Sheeran sponsored shirts. They may look the part in them, but they're not playing the part at the moment because they're 2 goals down to a very spirited and very well organised Barrow side who have really been good value for their lead. Ipswich have had a couple of good opportunities, but Paul Farman's been very good. Here's Grayson now, has to go back. Uses Platt. Platt now in field, and that's a foul. Surely there on White there, and it's got to be a booking, surely. I would have thought so. The referee calling the Ipswich player over. White was completely poleaxed there as he went forward. And it's going to be Al-Masuri who's going to get his name taken, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, he's late, that's for sure. The ball had already gone a long time before Masuri got White in the tackle there. Sent him flying there, almost poleaxed him in that respect. So a free kick to Barrow. I certainly had a stiff talking to. Whether he's got a yellow card, we'll have that confirmed in just a second by the TV. ITV, in fact, the host broadcaster for tonight's match, as the free kick is taken down the near side. Good crossing there from Goss, and then Banks on the volley. And then another volley that just goes wide for a goal kick. But it was Stevens again, I think, with the shot. It was a lovely move, and it was Scott's with the crossing from the left-hand side, and Banks had the first effort, the captain, and then Stevens the second, and Stevens' effort went just wide of the target. And here comes Jackson now for Ipswich inside the area. Jackson tries to cross it back, hits the defender Grayson, and goes behind for a corner. And it's all happening here. It's on Sky or BT. It's not on either of those platforms tonight, the cup tie. It's on ITV4 if you want to watch and listen with our commentary. It's on ITV4 tonight, the cup tie. Sky and BT don't have the televisional rights for the FA Cup anymore. But if you want to watch on ITV4 but listen to our commentary, you're more than welcome to do so. We'll do that for you. Here's Aluko with the corner in towards the near post. Flick on towards the back post this time. Here's Wolfenden, picks the ball up, finds Penny. Penny now, it's got Wolfenden on the elbow lap. Wolfenden has it now, taking on number 14 here. Jones. Just had to get it through my nose there just for a second. Here goes Barrow now with a break on here with Gordon. Looking to get players forward. Gordon's bowling wasn't the best. And in the end, the attack breaks down. But Ipswich making a bit of a dog's dinner of clearing that. And Stevens has come away with the ball. Stevens, right-hand channel. Has to cross. He was hugging the right-hand touchline, actually. Here's Scott, the second goal scorer. Finds the first Stevens, who slips as he crosses. And it hits the dressing room area behind Walton's goal. Behind for a goal kick. And that's the verdict here. And let's go back with the latest opportunity for Wolves. Here's Kieran at Brighton.
Oh, it was a fantastic chance for us to go 2 up, but fortunately, it was great play. Semedo winning the ball, running it down the right-hand side. Nice, easy cross, but Trincao just a little bit too slow, and it runs a little bit too far ahead of him. Mark Kelly's now down injured again. He's one of our most injury-prone players. I don't know why he bothered playing him, but hey-ho. But no, another fantastic chance that we were just too slow for. Trincao just being a little bit too slow. But still, 25 minutes to go. It's Brighton 0, Wolves 1. And it's okay. I think we're going to cross straight to the Emirates where there's been a goal.
Yes, that's right, Kieran. Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0. Is that man Gabriel Martinelli with the goal for Arsenal. It was a wonderful break down the left-hand side after ball through from Alexander Lacazette. Martinelli ran through and put it beyond Fabianski superbly. A wonderful shot from just inside the penalty area with his right foot across the goalkeeper into the far right-hand corner, just inside the left-hand side of the penalty area. And on 48 minutes, Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0. And a bit of news regarding the Burnley game as well. One of their local reporters, I've just seen a tweet from him saying he believes Watford informed the Premier League around 2 o'clock of the situation. PL had a meeting around 4, and the first time Burnley knew the game was being called off tonight was 15 minutes before the press release was sent regarding the Burnley versus Watford game this evening. But the Emirates is 1-0 Arsenal after going up towards 49 minutes gone.
Thanks, Russ. Interesting news coming out of Turf Moor tonight, that's for sure. Burnley not informed until 5:15, which makes me wonder why they weren't consulted before. But anyway, here come Ipswich now on the break here. Chance inside the area, and it just wouldn't drop from Norwood. And Farman is having a word with his defenders for letting Norwood get in behind him. And Farman really bailed out Ipswich there. We've had just over an hour, folks, at the Dunes Hotel Arena here in Barrow, in Furness, for our featured FA Cup tie. It's our replacement game in place of what we should have been giving you tonight, which would have been Burnley versus Watford in that 17th, 18th place showdown in the Premier League. That's what we were going to bring you tonight with updates from this game, but we've had a bit of a reshuffle. We've had to think about the programme again. And so I'm in Barrow, Russ is down at Arsenal, and Kieran is at Brighton. And we've got goals in all the games that are taking place. We've had two here in Barrow. We've had a goal at Arsenal, as you just heard from Russ. And we've had a goal at Wolves as well. So 4 goals from our featured games this evening on the TC Hub. We're also on JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, TC Hub 2, and Twitter and Twitch. We're not on Periscope anymore, in case you were wondering. Goal kick taken by Farmer. The long kick headed away there by number 16, El Mozuni. And then the ball's headed on, but it's straight into Parliament's hands again. And no danger for Barrow. We're also sponsored for the season by Melon Check that out at www.melonapp.com. And of course, we're only players of the match, and we'll have a player of the match from the Arsenal game too. When we pick up commentary with a quarter of an hour of that one to go. Should this game finish after 90 minutes, of course. And we'll have that too. We'll also have a player of the match from this one as well. And they're sponsored, of course, by Commentary Services. Anyway, here's Walton now with the kick. And of course, we've got a Facebook page, of course, www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub, which you can see on the screen on our screen ticker. And of course, we have a Twitter feed. We're at Commentary Live 1, folks. Commentary Live 1. Right, here come Ipswich with Wolfenden. Wolfenden now gets the ball out to Vincent Young. And Vincent Young goes past his man. That's got to be a foul there by Barrow, on Vincent Brown. Tackle from behind. I'll be amazed if Barrow gets away with nothing more than a free kick. Looks as if the referee, James Bell from South Yorkshire, is just going to keep his cards in his pocket at the moment. He's been very reluctant to show cards left, right and centre here. And we'll be crossing again to Kieran in a few moments' time as well for more updates as soon as we get them. But it's Aluko with a free kick here in our featured commentary game, live on the TC Hub. And it's Ipswich with a free kick, 2 goals down. As we come hurtling towards the halfway mark of the second half. We've had 64 and a half minutes here at the Dunes Hotel Stadium. Here comes the free kick from the right. Aluko, really poor free kick. And Barrow able to get it clear. It was Gordon who hooked it a bit up and underish, and it gives Penny a chance. But he's gone down a blind alley down the left-hand side, and Gordon has stolen the ball off him. Plays a very loose pass. It almost turned into a hospital pass, but here's a chance now for Barrow now to get on his bike. Aluko was pursuing him. It looks like he pushed him, but the ball was in play, and it's still with Banks. Banks now in the centre. Finds, that's going to be a card surely against Sam Morsey. It's definitely a free kick. Sam Morsey is going to be in the referee's notepad. Sam Morsey, that was petulant from the Ipswich skipper. Really poor there. That challenge did not have any interball scored in that. So Morsey becomes the first player in the book. I can't help but say Morse code, can I? That's not a challenge that Inspector Morse would be proud of. There's certainly a shove there on Banks. And a free kick. It is there. We'll cross to us in a minute because there's been a chance in the Arsenal-West Ham game. But we'll see this free kick out. It's going to be Banks to take it. He scored in the opening round against Banbury. The ball now back with number 5, Platt. Platt gets the ball out to the far side. And here is Grayson. Grayson, a lovely ball, but he can't get in behind. And it's Wolfenden to pick up the ball. Pick up the pieces. It's a throw-in to Barrow. And I think it's gone the other way. In fact, a free kick has been awarded. Right, let's get back to the Emirates Stadium quickly and just see who the chance fell to with Ross.
Yes, thank you, JB. Fell to West Ham United through Jared Bowen. It was a super smashing great save from Aaron Ramsdale to keep him out after an effort from just outside the penalty area. It went behind for a corner, right flicked it on, but Arsenal managed to clear. Arsenal down the other end had a chance through Saka, which was blocked. They've just had a throw-in, Arsenal, but it was given as a foul throw, it looked like, by Tommy Asu, and now West Ham have got to throw. So we played, which was 55 minutes gone. Arsenal 1, West Ham 0.
Hey, listen, Russ, I do the Jimbo impressions around here. I don't know. Right, substitution. We're going to see Norwood off, and we're going to see Piggott on. So James Norwood has gone off, and Joe Piggott on. No relation to the great jockey Lester Piggott. Certainly doesn't evade his taxes, that's for sure. But anyway, we've had 67 minutes gone in this FA Cup replay. It's Barrow 2, Ipswich 0. The ball hooked away. Almost went on the roof of the small main stand on the far side. And there we go. There's been some substitutions down there at Brighton. Basuma and Lallana Basuma on. No, sorry, Basuma off, Lallana on, and Marepo off. Riches is on. Right, that's that cleared up. That's coming from Kieran. We'll be dropping in on Kieran in a couple of minutes' time with a progress report. Meanwhile, there's a bit of fisticuffs going on between Piggott and Penny, and Banks was involved as well, and number 14, Jones, also involved, and the referee wants to have a few words. Now, it's coming together between Brown and Piggott. Then Piggott pulled his shirt back, Brown's shirt back. Then Penny gets involved. Probably handbags at 10 paces, quite honestly. And I think Piggott and Brown, just a stiff talking to from Mr. Bell, the referee. I think that's fair enough. Just a little bit of handbags at 8 paces and all that jazz as the throw now comes in from Ipswich. They need something here on the far side. It comes to Penny on that far left-hand side, and Penny's fouled his man. Free kick to Barrow. Let's check in with what's been happening since we were last at the Amex. Let's check in with Kieran again.
It's been a bit end-to-end. There's been a couple of penalty shouts, which, to be fair, weren't penalty shouts. Neves having probably about a 50-60 yard run. It was a great run. Try crossing it in, comes off the top of the shoulder of the Brighton defender, so clearly not a handball. So no penalty shout there. And Brighton had one in the box probably about 2 minutes ago, going down holding his face, but that was quickly waved off, and VAR didn't even have a look at it. But Brighton are on the chance here. What can I do with this? It's picked up by Saiss and hit away. But back with Brighton now. It's well defended by Wolves. Oh, no, never mind. Brighton are still back on the ball now. They've still got a chance here. What could happen here? Shot comes in. Well defended by Kilman. Still available. Picked up by Neves and hoofed up the field. So it's still 1-0 Wolves here with 5 minutes to go, plus about 20 minutes injury time.
Just the 20 minutes, eh? Anyway, back at the Dunes Hotel Stadium here in Barrow. Free kick to Ipswich Town, midway inside their own half. Referee wanting to get the ball back to the exact spot so the free kick can be taken properly. 20 to go in this one. Still plenty of time left in the Arsenal game. Arsenal winning 1-0 as things stand. There's been a chance at the Emirates. We'll go over to Russ in just a second. Here's the free kick taken by Walton up towards the penalty area. Headed away there, but not very far really by Barrow. He just lost his direction, but he didn't come to anything, and Ipswich having to go back to Walton again. Can Ipswich find a way back now with 20 minutes left to play in this second round replay? As things stand, it's Barrow going to Barnsley on the 7th of January, and referee again wanting a few words again. I think Barrow have lost the decision that time. It's a free kick to Ipswich. Wolfordon's going to take it then just 10 yards inside, just to the right of the centre circle. Referee telling Gordon to get the full 10 yards, if possible. All the goals in this game coming in the first half. Both goals. First one from Stevens after 26. Got some 35. Here's Wolfordon for Richards. Still Gordon didn't look 10 yards away, but it's been flooding into the area. And a little bit of jostling and pushing. The referee did spot, but he's let the game flow. And that looked like a deliberate block there. And there's an Ipswich player, and the man who tried to make the deliberate block to stop Gordon going any further has ended up hurting himself in the process. But the game's continuing. The referee has now decided to stop it, and I can't tell who the player is down on the ground there. In fact, I think he's hurt his knee. Now, that could be actually a big problem for Ipswich. I think he's trying to block. Yeah, he's trying to block Gordon off Zala, and has ended up injuring his knee. And this actually looks quite serious. He looks in a little bit of distress. And whilst that injury is going on and the substitution about to be made, and I'll make a note of that and come back to you with that in just a second. Let's just join Russ down at the Emirates.
Yes, thank you, JB. Arsenal had a free kick on the edge of the penalty area a few moments ago. Martin Odegaard's effort was saved. Then Martinelli was booked for Arsenal for pulling back on Fabianski and letting him throw out fairly quickly from the resulting catcher following that free kick. Antonio now got on the edge of the penalty area. He cuts inside and loses out. Lacazette loses out, but West Ham have got the ball back. Also thought it should have been a free kick, but it so fell onto Antonio. Lovely way from the Hammers. So fell once more. Twisting, turning, back to Antonio again. On the right hand side, his ball was in towards the penalty. Tomiyasu breaks in there for Soychek. Cleared away up in the air. So fouls there, back towards Antonio, and Lacazette gets there. Now also can break. 61 minutes gone here, still 1-0 Arsenal.
Thank you, Russ. Well, the injury's still being tended to, and we still haven't had a restart yet. We've played just over 73 minutes. Let's just check in with what's happening at the Amex Stadium with Kieran.
Still 1-0 here. We're about 30 seconds away from finding out how much injury time we're about to get. Looks like Wolves are going to be possibly making a substitution in a minute as well. I'll bring that to you in just a second. So if you want to stay with me and find out the extortionate amount of added time that's going to be added on at the end of this game. But last time we checked, the ball was with Brighton, and it still is with Brighton. It's coming on attack now, but that's picked up by Moutinho. Squares it to Neves, hoofs it forward to Traore. Traore fouled, but the ref says play on. We've now reached 90 minutes. How much is being added on? 11 minutes of injury time here at the Amex. So it's 11 minutes for Brighton to either get an equaliser or Wolves to get a goal back. Traore just taken out there. And that is a yellow card for, I think, Moda. Let me just double check. Oh, no, it's not. It is for Burn. The Brighton defender there getting a yellow card for a foul on Traore there. So 11 minutes added on here. But it's still Wolves 1, Brighton Hove Albion 0.
A long way off from your prediction of 20 minutes, but we'll keep going to Kieran for regular updates during that marathon. 11 minutes of stoppage time. Meanwhile, Connor Chaplin is about to come on, and so too is Sonny Luco and Toto and Sala. They're both coming off. Ipswich making another substitution, and Donegan and Connor Chaplin about to come on. Can he do a Charlie Chaplin and get Ipswich back into the game? No relation to Charlie, incidentally, as we see that other substitution there. So a quarter of an hour left to play then in this FA Cup replay. Winners at Barnsley in the third round. And as things stand, it's going to be Barrow, their opponents, unless Ipswich can find 2 goals in the last quarter of an hour to try and force an extra half an hour. If they do their 2 goals, we will have an extra half an hour, and we will bring it to you live on the TC Hub if required. But in order for that to happen, Ipswich needs to score twice without reply within the last quarter of an hour, plus injury time. Wolford back to Walton. Walton kicks away left-footed, high and long. Flicked on there by the number 2, was it? No, it wasn't. It's a foul. In fact, it was Piggott, rather. Piggott. It's those Football League numbers. They're giving me the creeps. It was Piggott that was fouling his man, and a free kick now, which will be taken by Platt. Platt getting it forward towards Gordon, up against number 26 here, Burgess. And Burgess has let that one go. It's a goal kick. No foul on Gordon. And Ipswich, no time to waste. 14 minutes to play. On Cooper's side, on course for a trip to Oakwell to face Championship side Barnsley in the third round on Saturday the 7th of January early next year. As the ball is kicked forward again by Walton. Ipswich needing snookers and miracles and 2 goals to get back in this FA Cup. It's going to be very difficult for the 1978 winners now. Can they provide something here through Jackson? He's got Piggott up front with him now. Here's a chance now as the ball is knocked forward, and it's wide by El Masuri, and it's well wide. Speculative effort with the outside of the right foot, and it goes well wide of Paul Farman's right-hand post, and a goal kick. It is to Barrow, and Paul Farman will be in no hurry at all to take that goal kick. So Barrow, 19th in League 2, leading Ipswich 12th in League 1 by 2 goals to 0. Barrow about to make another substitution. Substitutions galore here in this second half here. But it's Barrow producing a very big shock at the moment. Here's Farman with the kick. 13 to play here at the Dunes Hotel Stadium in Barrow. And we're not far from the Dunes here at this lovely stadium, this lovely compact stadium in the heart of the Lake District on the northwest coast, 20 miles or so above the likes of Morecambe and Heysham and Lancaster, but it's in the Lake District, not far from Grange over Sands. Stevens, one of the scorers, is going off and getting a magnificent ovation from the Barrow faithful. Football League club again. They've waited a long time to get back, and Connor Brown is the man who's going to come on in his place. Connor Brown coming on, and Josh Kay and Romano Hutton are going to come on. Sorry, apologies there. I've got the substitutions wrong. Anyway, you got the gist there. There's been a penalty at Arsenal and a red card as well. We'll come to Russ in a second because Barrow have a throw in, and the ball hooked away once more. At the moment, Ipswich don't look like making anything happen at the moment. The ball knocked back, and it's going to be Paul Farmans. He'll kick away now, right-footed. Kicks away really forward at the moment. But it's all been happening elsewhere in the second half. We've been quite quiet, really, in terms of actual real open chances, apart from two gilt-edged ones for Ipswich. Nothing Barrow have strung together has been any good in the second half, but they did their damage with the two goals that went their way. Morty now takes possession. He's the only player from Norwich that has been booked, unless there's any others I've not known about. Anyway, here's a chance now for Donican now. Come forward now once again. Here's Vincent Young. Vincent Young now. Good cross into the penalty area, but it's well wide. It's out of place for a goal kick. Let's go and catch up with what's been happening at the Emirates with RB.
Yes, thank you, JB. Arsenal lead by a goal to 0 still, and have just been awarded a penalty. Alexander Lacazette was fouled inside the penalty area on the follow through from Vladimir Kufal, who won the ball initially, then took him out on the follow through. The referee, Anthony Taylor, took a bit of time before pointing to the spot and then producing a second yellow and a red for West Ham right back Vladimir Kufal, who now walks off, and he wasn't happy with that. He walks to the dugout. It was David Moyes to give him an high five and having a word with the fourth official as well, Vladimir Kufal, saying he got the ball, which he did initially. It's the follow through which has caused him to be sent off, in my opinion. We'll get the penalty in a second. Is Alexander Lacazette steps up and is saved from Fabianski. Ball back in from Saka, headed away by Dawson. Headed back in by Tomiyasu, and he's headed away this time again. Wonderful scenes here in the hemisphere of West Ham. We're down to 10 men, but still trailed by Dawson after a fantastic save from Lucas Fabianski. He gets away from Alexander Lacazette, and a fantastic save from the West Ham goalkeeper to palm it away to safety. West Ham still in this. It's Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0.
Wow, what commentary that was. Josh Gordon now coming off for Barrow in the latest of changes here, substitutions. A great save from Fabianski. Kufal has been sent off for 2 yellows. It's all happening here on the TC Hub. Zanzala's now going to come on and have 9 minutes. We've played 81 minutes of this replay. Barrow, as things stand, are off to Barnsley in round number 3 on the 7th of January, as things stand. But it's all happening in the Premier League. We'll quickly check with Kieran how stoppage time, that long period of stoppage time is going at the moment. Here come Barrow now looking to kill the game off. Time running out for Richards. As I say, 81 minutes have been played here in Barrow. But here's a chance now for Jackson. Ball behind him, but he keeps it on the right-hand side. Jackson has to cut back. And here's Donican now. Gets the ball back now to number 6, Wolfenden, who initially made a bit of a difference since coming on, but hasn't made too much since. And now the ball will break here for Stevens, and he goes for Gotts. He goes down, but the referee doesn't want to know. And off we go again. Stevens, of course, has been substituted. Meanwhile, a crossing from Penny, headed away by number 14, Jones, and it's going to be a throw-in to Ipswich Town, 3 yards from the quadrant on the far side, almost in line of the 6-yard area, actually. And it's going to be And Ipswich trail then. 2-0 they trail. They need Snookers to get back into this FA Cup second round replay. Al Maziri wins another throw-in. Penny will take it well. No, he's going to leave it. He's going to leave it now then. What can they cook up here? They need a goal from somewhere, Ipswich, to get themselves back into it. Here's a chance for Burgess. The cross comes into the penalty area. Piggott attacks it, but he's beaten to it in the air. Ball breaks inside the area, but it breaks for Paul Farman, who takes it comfortably. The relief on around the stadium here in Barrow is unpalpable. Let's see what's been happening at the Max in that mammoth 11 minutes of stoppage time. How's it going so far, Kieran?
We've got 2 minutes left. We've just passed the 99-minute mark. I never see this in football ever, apart from when we're doing extra time. But it's been a bit of again, end-to-end again. A few shots here and there. Nothing really coming from anywhere. But we have done the stupid thing. We've conceded a free kick with 2 minutes to go. This usually is where it goes horribly wrong and we concede. But it was a foul by Leander Dendoncker, a little shove in the back. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Just stay with me a second, John, as they set this up. 3 players run over the ball. Free kick taken straight at the face of Adama Traore. Doesn't seem phased and knocked straight out for a throw-in to Brighton. So 1 minute left now, and it's Brighton 0, Wolves 1 still.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll be going back to Kieran for a full-time report in a minute. Here comes Ipswich now. Ball played into the area. Just couldn't find Jackson. It was a good idea, but Paul Farman, again, who's been in the walls tonight, mud on his jersey. Lovely ball in there. Penny's cross, just far too close to Paul Farman. Just needed a bit more on the cutback. And Jackson might have been in there, and Ipswich might have had a lifeline with 6 minutes to play here in Barrow. But at the moment, it's Barrow still heading through to the third round proper of the FA Cup to play Barnsley on Saturday, the 7th of January, 2022. Here come Ipswich now. The number 55 on the ball, Sam Morsey, gets the ball out now. Can Ipswich strike a late goal here and try and make this as interesting as possible? They need something now. Here's Vincent Young now. Chances here for a cross here, maybe, or Al Mashari. Will he have a go? Sam Morsey's going to have a try. Hits a defender. Comes to Piggott inside the area. Can Ipswich find something? Morsey out to Penny on this far right to left-hand side. And again, stout Barrow defending right on the line. And then the ball back in. And Paul Farman absolutely jumps on top of the ball, takes it there. And there's been some great drama at Brighton. Here's Kieran again.
It's typical Wolves. We're being stupid. We're fouling when we don't need to be fouling. It. Free kick at the edge of the box. Flew miles away, but Brighton goalkeeper came forward for it as well. But they've had another free kick on the other side of the box. We are now 42 seconds over the 11 minutes played stoppage time. Bear with me, this should be the last kick of the game. Can we just hold off and kick it away for the ref to blow full time? Still in 2 seconds, it's taken. Whipped in, headed away by Saiss. Picked up again on the edge of the box. Whipped in again, well defended by Semedo. Whipped in again, headed away by Dendoncker. Picked up again. Fabio Silva now with the ball, running with it. Passes up to Podence, running down the left-hand side. What can Podence do with it? He's got Fabio Silva in the middle again. Oh, and it's a free kick to Wolves on the edge of the box. It's late, last-minute drama. We're now a minute over the allocated stoppage time. Come back to me, JB.
Yes, well, thank you very much indeed. Whilst we were away, there was a chance for Salazar to make it 3, but the goalkeeper saved it. We're 3.5 minutes away from the end here. It's Connor Chaplin wins a throw-in for Ipswich. Midway side, the Barrow half. Banks tangling with his man. Looks like his shot was pulled. Advantage is played by referee James Bell. Here's Chaplin again. Can he find something in the bag here? Finds Morsey. Now the ball out to Vincent Young. Here's a good cross. It wasn't a good cross from Vincent Young. He'll get a second bite of the cherry. Ball into the area. Piggott attacks him, but it hits it into the ground. And Paul Farman, not for the first time, Gabber's on the loose ball. He takes the ball. And again, Barrow survived all this constant Ipswich pressure. But Paul Farman, whatever he's had to do, he's done it well. And that has been a terrific performance. And let's get a full-time report now. The game is finished. It's between Wolves and Brighton. Let's get a full-time report last of the night from Kieran.
We've done it. We've finally beaten Brighton in a top-flight game at the Amex. We haven't done this for many years, but it's finally finished after we did a bit of time wasting in the corner to try and keep the ball out. But it's finished here at the Amex. Wolves 1, Brighton 0. A fantastic effort by the old gold and black boys, my team, Wolverhampton Wanderers. A valiant effort by Brighton at the end there to try and get a last-minute equaliser, but nothing came to it. Commiserations to them. Wolves are flying high. 3 points. It's what we've needed after the past few results. A fantastic game overall, end to end. I can't complain. Got a bit boring at times, but I can't complain. We've won a game, haven't we? It's about time. Final score here at the Amex. It's Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Our first top flight win in the Amex.
Yeah, so well done to Wolves. It also finished 2-2 at Selhurst between Crystal Palace and Southampton. So the points shared at Selhurst. Still 1-0 to Arsenal. We'll be crossing over to Russ at the end of the game for the climax of that one here on the TC Hub. Unless there's been any significant incidents, as Gotts has been injured and one or two of the Ipswich players while we were away were having a few words to say. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving again, more handbags at 10 paces than anything else. Meanwhile, Ipswich, what's happening here? The referee has decided on the drop ball. It's back in the possession of Paul Farman, who picks the ball up inside the area. Piggott came to close him down, but Farman now. We've played 89 minutes, and I've got to choose a player of the match. And I'm going to go for Paul Farman, the goalkeeper, whose goalkeeping in the second half has been the catalyst, really. Although the damage was done, and there might be a chance of a third inside the penalty area. And Zanazar was there, but he couldn't finish it off. So let me just finish. That was almost a calamity from the other goalkeeper for Ipswich. And that would have wrapped it up there for sure. Him and Burgess got into a bit of a tangle. Yeah, Paul Farman is the player of the match sponsored by Commentary Services. He's kept goal really well. He's made some good saves when it mattered, but of course Barrow did the damage in the first half. But Farman has kept that 2-goal buffer well intact in the second, and he's played really well. We've got 6 added minutes, incidentally, at the end of this game. 6 added minutes. So we might just have get a quick report in from Russ, and then he'll take over for the rest of the programme. Ball into the area. Header one. Oh, it's a brilliant save from Farmer, didn't I? Piggott. And that is a brilliant save. And that might seal Barrow's smashing surely now through to the third round. That's a brilliant save down away to his left-hand side. The ball knocked into the penalty area. They all queuing up in the back here in black for Ipswich. But it's hooked away by the blue and white of Barrow. But Paul Farman underlining why I've chosen him as player of the match. That was a smashing save. Piggott thought he got beat back to 2-1, but he didn't reckon on Paul Farman. Dunnican now with a throw-in for Ipswich. Into the area it goes. Desperate defending now from Barrow. Morsey heads it forward. Piggott's there too. And then the ball knocked away once again. Oh, this is fantastic stuff here. It's really picked up in the closing stages of this second half, hasn't it? Ball knocked forward, and here's a chance for Banks, the captain. He goes away from Morsey, who brings him down, of course. Now, what does the referee give here? Goal kick, I think, is the reward. And Morsey's got to be careful because he's already on a yellow card, of course. We played 1:21 of the 6 minutes. Let's just quickly check in with a progress report from Russ on the Arsenal game.
Yes, JB, it is still Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0. Emil Smith-Rowe came off on the bench. She had a shot which was saved by Fabianski in the West Ham goal. Martinelli coming down the left-hand side, barged over and barged in the back by Mikel Antonio, who's gone to right back. Sees the red card for Vladimir Soufal. West Ham still trailed by a goal to 0. And Arsenal have just got a free kick. We're approaching the final 10 minutes of the match here. It's Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0.
Thank you, Russ. And we'll be going straight over to Russ for the climax as soon as we're done here in Barrow. 2-0. There's been a free kick given for Barrow, foul on Platt. And Paul Farman, who's our player of the match, is going to take the free kick midway inside the Barrow half. 2-0 they lead. We played over 2 minutes of the 6. Farman right-footed. towards the penalty area, looking towards Zarazar, who's up there again, and the goalkeeper lost it, and a tap and surely for number 3. And the goal isn't going to stand. Well, I thought Kane knocked in number 3 then, but he hadn't. There was a foul there on Walton. Let's have a look. Did he have 2 hands on the ball? Or maybe a handball, maybe? Tell you what, if he's given it for a foul on the goalkeeper, it looks a very soft decision. I think strikers should be allowed to climb with the goalkeeper, although Walton didn't like the challenge one bit, but there was a case in point. The goal didn't stand, and Ipswich have a corner. We've had half the 6 minutes. And Banks has conceded this corner. It's all happening here. We'll be crossing to Russ as soon as this match is finished for the climax of Arsenal against West Ham. West Ham down to 10 men, trailing 1-0. But Fabianski is saved from Lacazette from the penalty spot. It's all been happening everywhere tonight in the Premier League. 2-2, it finished at Selhurst. 1-0 to Wolves in Kieran's game earlier on tonight. And as well, we're as well here as and of course 1-0 to Arsenal. An old phrase, that one. And here in the cup, it's 2-0 to Barrow. Ipswich looking to get forward again. They need 2 goals in 2.25 minutes to seal extra time, or potentially take it to extra time. And if we do get 2 goals in that time, it doesn't look highly likely, to be fair, then we will be taking extra time. But it doesn't look as if we're going to have extra time at this stage in the proceedings. Wolves 1, Brighton 0. That was a full-time score. There's been a comment, but again, once again, we've had 1 or 2 horrible commenters again that have been blocked. Now, if you aren't interested in causing trouble, don't do it. I haven't got the time or the patience for comments like that. We have moderators on at any one time, so if you are a serious YouTuber who's enjoying the coverage, we like to hear from you, not these made up sort of names. We don't like that on the channel. Anyway, 3 kick to Ipswich Town. 2 goals down and tumbling out the FA Cup thanks to goals from Gotts and from Stevens. Paul Farman has made some excellent interventions as well. Robbie Gotts getting another standing ovation from his fantastic crowd here at Barrow this evening. He's had a good match. He's had a decent match. Just pipped at the post for the man of the match award from us. But he's certainly played his part in a terrific Barrow performance. Mark Ellis is now on for the last few seconds. And Ipswich now running out of time and running practically out of ideas, as Burgess is going to take this 3 kick 15 yards inside the half. Here it comes into the penalty area. It goes quick on there by Piggott, and the ball is ushered out. It will be a goal kick to Barrow, and that, I think, will be that for Ipswich Town. The fans have made a 600-mile round journey, and it's not really been worth their while. Also, you have to spare a thought for Watford's fans who made their way over to Burnley this evening for nothing in the end. But what a performance it has been from Barrow. As we have we've got a view on our monitors of the ground from a little drone that is above the stadium here. But what a performance it has been for Barrow AFC. Terrific performance. We've played the 6 minutes, and the long kick from Farman. And the header up there, and the whistle has gone. It will be no more. The referee balls for the end. We have a shock in the FA Cup. It's Mark Cooper's Barrow, 19th in League 2, who have knocked out John McGreal's Ipswich Town, who are 12th in League 1. They've knocked him out by 2 goals to 0, and it means so much to the men from the Lakes. A superb performance. Goals from Stevens and from Gotts in the first half. Stevens after 26 minutes, Gotts after 35. That practically sealed things up. Ipswich made substitutions to try and repair the damage, but when they got into good shooting positions, they found Paul Farman just too good, and he takes away our Player of the Match award. So, terrific performance from Barrow. They go through to play Barnsley in round 3 at Oakwell on the 7th of January, Saturday the 7th of January. That's it from me for the moment anyway. I'll be back at the end of the full-time sequence, but we're now going to cross to the closing stage of the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal, remember, leading 1-0 against West Ham. West Ham down to 10 men. Lacazette's had a penalty save. And to take you through to the end of the game, I'll be back shortly, but to take you through to the end of the game, here's Ross Vernon.
Thank you very much, JBS. West Ham, through Master Walker, keep out of possession. Now into Diop, who hits the ball over to this right-hand side where Ashby is. Ashby flicks the ball into Souček. Back to Ashby. Now on to Jared Bowen. Here's side Ben Rama, twisting, turning. On to Souček, who puts the ball across, is blocked by Ben White, and it's out for a throw to West Ham. Souček will leave it for Ashby. Ashby will take it back now to Dawson, as West Ham will try and push forward. Here's Diop into Declan Rice. West Ham maybe down to 10 men, but they're not giving up on this game without a fight. As here's Dawson, brings it down on his chest. Arsenal appeal for an handball. There wasn't even an handball in there for me. Here's Ben Rama fighting with Tomiyasu and getting there, but Saka's out. He's dropping his right back out, and Saka's coming forward. Plays in Smith Rowe over on that far side of the right. Smith Rowe winning up towards the penalty. Emil Smith Rowe! And Arsenal have doubled their lead! Arsenal 2, West Ham United 0. And it's Saka and Smith Rowe linked up well. And Emil Smith Rowe makes it 2-0 to Arsenal. With about 3 minutes left to play. And also fans will like it, they'll like it, they'll like it. They'll like it. Everywhere they go, it's Saka and Emil Smith Rowe who linked up well to double Arsenal's lead. Tomiyasu does well to wrestle off Ben Rama with the help of Saka. Saka then run on the run inside, Smith Rowe on the outside. And then Smith Rowe cuts in onto his favoured left foot and hit it beyond Fabianski, who had no chance. West Ham have played well today, but that second goal there will be totally undone. And West Ham are 2-0 down, and it's Emil Smith Rowe with the goal to make it Arsenal 2, West Ham United 0. And Arsenal fans, they'll like that as they're getting 3 points tonight against a 10-man West Ham United side who had Vladimir Kufal sent off. Arsenal have their second. It's Arsenal 2, West Ham 0, and Arsenal are now well on their way to 3 points. 8 here in this score is Arsenal 2, West Ham 0. Alex Lacazette, who's been the captain tonight, has been substituted. Nuno Tavares comes on for Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah will now lead the line. Tavares will play in front of Kieran Tierney. Nketiah is just in an offside position, has to leave that. And Dawson now picks up for West Ham. Here's Diop. West Ham were so close to try and get back in a few moments ago, but they now find themselves 2-0 down. And here's Antonio, out wide for Ben Rama. Side Ben Rama. On the edge of box is Souček. He goes down on the challenge of Thomas Partey. It's a free kick to West Ham United. On the edge of the penalty area. Fouled by Thomas Partey. On Thomas Souček. And as he was going down there, Souček, he called the back of the ankles of Thomas Partey. But the first foul was from Partey on the West Ham man there, Thomas Souček. Diop forward from the back. He's the only defender up there along with Ashby. Rice standing over this free kick. Bowen to Ben Rama as well. Will it be a super smashing shot here from Jared Bowen, or will they leave it to Declan Rice or even Ben Rama here? There's a draft excluder on the floor for Arsenal in case they decide to go low. It's Emil Smith Rowe, and he goes into the wall from Ben Rama. Now it's Ashby. Back it goes to Dawson, who's been forced backwards. He turns just inside his own half. Down the right hand side it goes. Here's Ashby. Controls well with his right foot. Inside to Jared Bowen. Lovely run from Jared Bowen in towards the penalty area. Headed away nicely there. Here's Nketiah. And Nketiah will play the ball back to Tierney, who can clear long. Saka closing down Declan Rice and putting was under pressure as we enter 5 minutes of stoppage time. The player of the match in our game here at the Emirates will have to go to... I'm not sure at the moment. I'll ask before we finish though, as is Tomiyasu for Arsenal, keeping possession well. Here's Ben White, who's a contender for that player of the match, as to his Gabriel, as to his Tini. So there's been a number of Arsenal players who's worthy of the player of the match in our second of our other featured matches tonight from the Premier League. Here's a lovely ball out to Nuno Tavares. Tavares can't keep the ball in play. West Ham will clear. Here's Xhaka. Now for Tierney. Thomas Partey. Now Tomiyasu. Smith Rowe. Tomiyasu. Here's Saka. Smith Rowe. Saka and Smith Rowe combining again. Tomiyasu now. Here's Partey. And also, believe they're just having a party at the moment. Just knocking the ball round at ease. Tierney. Into Tavares. And it's not been a super smashing great performance from West Ham this evening. Arsenal are leading by 2-0 against West Ham. Here is Nketiah onto Thomas Partey. Partey across into the path of Tomiyasu. Now Smith Rowe. Saka. Tomiyasu, Partey. Towards Saka, giving away to Diop. And now Diop can come forward, but giving away is Xhaka. Smith Rowe, Xhaka again. And Xhaka goes for goal and he's over the top. From just outside the penalty area from Granit Xhaka. And Arsenal leading by 2-0 in the Premier League against West Ham United. And Bukayo Saka, who's played well today, is another candidate for our Man of the Match award. We'll give it, I'll announce it in about a minute or so. Here is Tavares, Xhaka, Gabriel, Thomas Partey. Good running from Partey into Smith Rowe. Now Partey again, just inside the West Ham half. Into Smith Rowe and Nketiah. On the edge of the penalty area now. How wide it goes to Tavares. Got Tini on the outside of him, and the player of the match in the Arsenal West Ham game has gone to Kieran Tierney. He has played well for Arsenal and left back tonight. The Arsenal man. Mikel Arteta watching on, so too David Moyes. And Nketiah wins the ball back on the edge of the penalty area now for Arsenal. Here is Thomas Partey. Smith Rowe giving the ball away. Here's Declan Rice. Rice coming forward. Ashby. Dawson, who gets there after Stojek slips. Fabianski clears away. Right-footed. Benrahma wins the header. Xhaka flicks the ball back. Gabriel slices it over the head of Bowen, who's not been super smashing or great really for West Ham today. Here's Saka into penalty area. Saka across towards Smith Rowe. As now Emile Smith Rowe holds up into Nketiah, twisting, turning up against Diop. Eddie Nketiah loses out again. And I must say, when I was speaking to Mark over there, you've got to look at Nicola Pepe's got to look at his future and think, shall I stay here or not? Because Eddie Nketiah, who said about a week or so ago now that he wanted to leave Arsenal, has been gone ahead of him again. As there it goes, the full-time whistle, and Arsenal lead. And Arsenal have won by 2-0. Gabriel Martinelli with the first goal for Arsenal. Emile Smith-Rowe with the second. And Arsenal with a superb win in the end. Smith-Rowe and Tavares giving each other an high five and a hug. Fabianski walking down. Bit of a glum look on his face. Nothing he could do about either of the goals. He was helpless by the defending, but Arsenal, West Ham were down to 10 men for people. Lacazette could have scored as well from the penalty spot, but his penalty was saved by Lucas Fabianski in one of the Premier League games, which we have been covering tonight. It's finished Arsenal 2, West Ham United 0.
Thank you very much, Russ, and stay with us, and Kieran as well. Let's digest all the football action before we leave you. We stay with you till 10 o'clock tonight. This is JB, John Stuttard. Coming down after a terrific result for Barrow in the FA Cup. They go to Barnsley in the third round. They play on the Saturday the 7th, I'm told, in that game. Of course, as Russ has just brought you coverage of Arsenal 2 rather, West Ham 0, and of course Kieran brought you 1-0 Wolves victory for his beloved Wolves against Brighton, who are dropping down the table like a stone at the moment. Let me tell you. And in the other game that we didn't have a reporter at, it finished 2-2 in what sounded like a high quality game between Crystal Palace and Southampton at Selhurst Park. And of course, as you know, Burnley against Watford was postponed because of a certain COVID outbreak, which Burnley were not told about until 15 minutes to 5 this afternoon. Apparently, discussions between the Premier League and Watford were ongoing since 2 o'clock this afternoon. Why they've left Burnley out of the conversation, I do not know, and only we will find out in the coming days and weeks what all this was about. But it doesn't seem right that Burnley was shut out of those conversations. It's frustrating when you're the home team, you're hosting a team that's coming to play you, and then that sort of thing happens. But I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about it. Whether or not there were actual COVID cases, we do not know. But anyway, you'll see my thoughts on JB Sports, an earlier video that we did. Right, anyway, let's not focus on that too much. Let's focus on what's been happening in the football with the two lads. Russ and Kieran should be with me now. Are you both there, lads?
We are. Well, I am.
And I am as well, JB.
You're both there. Let me start with Kieran first, because you've been away a long time. Good win for your lads tonight. Wolves 1-0. But at times you had to work hard for it, didn't you?
Oh, yes, definitely. It's Brighton are one of our toughest teams. I'm just going to bring up some stats, if you bear with me 2 seconds. But no,
go for it.
It was a very interesting game. I mean, that's our first top flight victory at the Amex for a very, very long time, or it possibly could be our very first top flight win at the Amex. Just trying to bring up some stats. So, here's some stats for you. So, we first played Brighton back on the 24th of September in 1969.
Okay.
We've now beaten them 8 times. We've only ever beaten them 8 times in our history.
Wow.
And they've beaten us 15 times. And we've drawn 14. So that's a total of, how many games is that? That's 20. That's
20
10,
odd games.
15, 8. Yeah, so yeah, 20 odd games. We've only won 8 of those games compared to them smashing us 15 times. It's good in the modern Premier League to finally actually get a win against them. They have always been our bogey team. Well, you can tell from the stats. They've always been our bogey team. We've never been able to either properly win, have a decent win. And tonight, it was only 1 goal, but it was a decent win. We actually fought fairly hard, considering the fact we only had 40% of the possession overall, and only 8 shots and 5 of them on target. To get a goal from that is pretty good. And obviously,
it is very good.
They had 60% possession with 12 shots and 2 shots on target without a single goal. So to only have 8 shots and to whip a goal in, which was fantastically well played, and they tried to protest it, but there was no way he was offside. To get a goal like that was absolutely fantastic. It's our first goal in 5 games as well, because we've had, I think it was 2 draws and 2 losses recently. So it's like it's got a bit boring now that we haven't had a goal, but it's good to now finally get back on the score sheet. We'll certainly see what happens over Christmas. We've got Chelsea up next on Sunday. That'll be interesting. And then we've got Watford on the 26th on Boxing Day. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the Christmas and New Year period. But I'm glad we've got some goals, which moves us up to 8th in the table now, I believe. We've shot all the way up to 8th. So it's good to be that high. Yeah,
it's very good there from that point of view. And it doesn't matter what you do with the possession. It doesn't matter how much possession you have. It's a classic case. If you do better with your amount of possession than their amount of possession, it doesn't really matter. Really, it's just a nonsensical thing. The point is that you've won tonight. Let's go and check on Arsenal. Let's get a verdict from Russ then. Arsenal winning 2-0. Far from easy, I know, but drama mainly in the second half of your match tonight, with the 2 goals and then the sending off and the penalty. I want to get your views on the penalty and the sending off. What did you think about it? Was it a class down penalty? And secondly, do you think it should have been a second yellow card for Kufau? You were saying in an earlier report that he felt he got the ball. What's your verdict?
Yes, JB, he got the ball initially, did Vladimir Kufau, but I can see why the referee has produced that second yellow, and it's a classic. It was the follow through which called the man and took him out, which is why it was a penalty and why it was the second yellow card. But he did win the ball, but like a lot of people, you go in for a challenge and then you can't stop your momentum going through, and I feel like it was that sort. So I probably wouldn't have booked him and said, give me a second yellow and sent him off, and I probably wouldn't have given the penalty, but I can see why the referee Anthony Taylor did. Got a bit of stats as well, like Kieran's just done from his game, and in my game, Arsenal 57% possession to West Ham's 43 in total. Arsenal had 21 shots in the game, West Ham had 7. 8 on target for Arsenal, 1 on target for West Ham in this game tonight. In the counter attacks, Arsenal had 2, West Ham had 0, and West Ham's Lukas Fabianski had to make 6 saves tonight, including a penalty. Arsenal's had Ramsdale only had to make 1 save in the game tonight. My man of the match, as I mentioned on commentary, was Kieran Tierney towards the end, and Jared Bowen wasn't that super smashing great, JB, as you like to say, because he was up against Kieran Tierney for the majority of the game, and Kieran Tierney didn't get dribbled past once by him. He had to always cut inside and play it inside and play 1-2 round him rather than getting on the outside of him like you would expect Bowen to do. So I think it wasn't that super smashing great performance from Bowen tonight. He only had 24 touches in the entire game, and he only had about 1 or 2 touches inside the opposition box as well, Jared Bowen tonight, which is unlike him. And Mikel Antonio, who was their striker, only had 2 or 3 touches inside the Arsenal half. He had 43 touches in total, but only 2 or 3 of those was inside the Arsenal penalty area. The rest was outside the box, so they didn't really utilise those 2 as much as they can. Arsenal have now gone above West Ham into the top 4. They're now on 29 points. West Ham on 28. They're a point behind Arsenal and a point above Man United, but Man United have a game in hand over both of those, and Man United could end up going into the top 4 with a win in their game if they win their game in hand against Brentford at the weekend when that ever gets replayed. West Ham, after their defeat tonight, they will look to bounce back against Norwich at the weekend before They play Tottenham in the EFL Cup next Wednesday in a week's time before playing Southampton at home on Boxing Day before Watford away on the 28th before the start the new year with a trip to Crystal Palace. As for Arsenal, their next few matches, just to let listeners know, they next up for them there's a trip to Leeds United at the weekend before a game against Sunderland in midweek. They've then got Arsenal on Boxing Day, Wolves on the 28th, and they start the new year at the Emirates against Manchester City.
Well, there we go. There we are. Before we leave you tonight, of course, Sergio Aguero has announced his retirement, sadly, from international football due to health reasons, guys. And it's sad to see a player retiring that fashion, considering he's given so many pleasure to so many people. Even if he wasn't a supporter of any of the clubs that he played for, even if you're a neutral, you get pleasure to the neutral, obviously, for many years. Aguero, who can forget his goal against Queen's Park Rangers? I'd like to ask you for a memory each about Sergio Aguero, because he was a super player, really was an excellent player in those at that time. But give me I'll start with Kieran first. Sum him up in a few words. Aguero's legacy.
Aguero. Sorry. Obviously, apart from that fantastic winning goal in 2012, he's a top player. We're gonna lose a really well. I say we're gonna lose. We have lost a really good player. It was always fun to come up against him in the Premier League, even though unfortunately last time we played with Aguero playing, he was taken off after 5 minutes because Edison decided to get himself sent off. And that was a great day.
I remember that. I remember doing that game for JB Sports it was 2 years ago, actually.
Yeah, I was there. I enjoyed every minute of it.
It was one of the best games I've ever commentated on, actually. Funnily, the funny thing is about that, it was one of the greatest games I commentated on. I still listen to it back now, and I still think faultless commentary. Mate. And I went ballistic when Doherty scored the winner. I've never gone as ballistic as that, because just at the back, because of the Wolves comeback and everything. But he'll be sadly missed.
Let's just say I celebrated that hard I nearly broke my leg.
I'll take your word for it on that. Thanks, Kieran, for the minute. Russ, how do you, again in a few short words, how do you sum up Sergio Aguero's legacy as a footballer?
Only one thing, like Kieran did, Aguero!
You know I'm going to wake up with nightmares all this tomorrow night, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just got a few stats here regarding Sergio Aguero. He was the fourth highest scoring player in Premier League history with 184 goals in 275 games, only behind Alan Shearer, who got 260, Rooney 208, and Andy Cole with 187. He's also the league's highest scoring overseas player, having registered 9 more goals than Thierry Henry, who got 175. Aguero scored every 108 minutes in the Premier League, comfortably the best rate in the competition's history. Indeed, he could play another 2,520 minutes, 28 games of Premier League football without scoring, and will have still been the best minutes per goal ratio of any top 5 player with more than 20 goals. In his entire career, he got 18 hat-tricks, including 12 in the Premier League, which is a record in English top flight. He scored 20-plus goals in all competitions in 12 of the 13 campaigns between 2007 and 2007-8 and 2019-20, reaching 30 or more on 5 separate occasions during his time at Manchester City. He scored 36 goals for Man City in the Champions League, which is a joint highest total a player has registered for an English side in the competition's history, along with former Chelsea striker Didier Drogba. He found the net against 128 different opponents, including, and I'm going to give you some top clubs in here, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United. There were 16 years and 332 days between Aguero's first career goal in November 2004 for Independiente in his homeland of Argentina and his final strike for Barcelona against Real Madrid in October 2021. His last ever goal was in El Clasico. So that's just some of the stats from Sergio Aguero as well. And Leroy, I've got an update here from Leroy Sané, a quote from Leroy Sané about Sergio Aguero. He says, "A true legend of the game. It was an honour to play with you, Sergio. I wish you all the best for your future." And then posted a photo of him and Man City when they won the Carabao Cup when both players was at the Etihad.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a few words. I got more than I'm asking for there, Russ. Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Kieran, for your contributions tonight. It's been amazing. We've had a terrific night of Premier League and football, Premier League and FA Cup action. Let me just run through most of the results because we've had a few results around the countries before I wrap up tonight. Let me give you the results then. Brighton 0, Wolves 1. Burnley, Watford, you know, it's been postponed. Palace 2, Southampton 2, Arsenal 2, West Ham 1. West Ham 0, rather. Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0. This is in Scotland. And Ross County 1, Celtic 2. In the Women's Champions League, Barcelona 5, Hull Game Women 0. Offenheim Ladies 4, Arsenal 1. Bayern Munich 4, Benfica 0. Lyon 4, Häcken Women 0. In the FA Cup, our commentary game, it finished Barrow 2, Ipswich 0. Barrow now played Barnsley in round 3. And in the Copa del Rey, Anderlecht 1, Sevilla 1 after extra time. Seville 1 on penalties. Rayo Vallecano 3-1 at Becandantos. Real Sociedad have won at Zamora by 3-0. Legania's 1 at Cultural 3-2. Castellón 1, Cartagena 2. Ponferrada 2, Ibiza 1 after extra time. Real Valladolid 3, Las Palmas 1. Sporting Eon 2, Alcoron 1. Atletico Salguento, I don't know how you pronounce that. Anyway, they scored 1. Villarreal got 7 of them. Tenerife 1, Eibar 2, and Els Crew 1-0 against Uniastas. In the Bundesliga, Mönchengladbach 2, Frankfurt 3, Berlin 0, Freiburg 0, Leverkusen 2, Hoffenheim 2, Borussia Dortmund 3, Gruppe Ferb 0, and Heusberg 1, Red Bull Leipzig 1. In the Coppa Italia, Verona 3, LS Verona 3, Empoli 4, Cagliari 3, Cittadella 1, and Fiorentina 2, Benevento 0. And that brings you practically up to date and to the end of another fast-moving TCL production with JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, Periscope, and of course TCM2 and Storm FM. We've also been on Twitter and Twitch as well. I hope you very much enjoyed it. Don't forget to keep checking out our Twitter feed. Keep coming on our Facebook page. Keep liking our Facebook pages at www.facebook.com/the commentary. We'll be back at the weekend for more Premier League action. We'll announce which games we're going to be covering in due course. But for myself, Russ and Kieran, I hope you've enjoyed our programme tonight. It's been a terrific night. Wins for Wolves, win and Arsenal in the Premier League. Palace and Southampton share the points. And Barrow pull off a knockout the 1978 winners Ipswich by knocking it with 2 goals in 9 minutes from Gotts and from Stevens to knock 1978 winners Ipswich out at the second round stage. 2-0. They go to Barnsley in round 3. From myself, Russ, and Kieran, I bid you a very good night, and we'll see you at the weekend. Good night from us all. Bye-bye.